CNN doing it, but when you just see an average guy standing there video, it's pretty surreal, if you will. And what is he? I mean, Muslim, just nobody knows yet. So I'm asking a question. I don't know. Who would go to Thailand and Bangkok to blow up something? A pissed off transvestite? Okay. Then let's talk about it, but let's give it a couple seconds and we'll go into that. All right, everybody, we're live on video. We are running weird today just because some internet stuff, electrical storm last night. All right, everybody, we're live. Let me get some mics turned on. I apologize for everybody that's been listening this morning. It's been apparently some electrical storms last night. Messed up a few things around 7:04 this morning. Literally, all three computers I'm sitting in front of. One, I'm working on a commercial for White Brothers, but then the radio station and the backup computer all kind of lose connection. And this went on till, roughly 10 minutes ago, 15 minutes ago. So anyways, everybody's trying to get started this morning.
Yeah, man.
So what's going on with you guys?
I'm still feeling the effects from yesterday.
I say, what's going on with you guys and you talk? What is that supposed to tell us? Is there something we need to know?
Well, and what makes you think you're part of the guys?
That's the point he just made.
No, he was talking about genitalia. I like that word. Genitalia.
I used to know a girl that her last name
was genitalia.
Was Genitelli. So do you know what her name got called for most of the time?
Bob.
Hey, Angie doing genitals. Hey, Angie with the big genitals. Come here. I mean, she had, I'm sure she got teased a lot.
What time was 7:42? I guess she was an Italian piece of ass.
Yeah. It's sad when Tyler can only shake his head.
I work with boobs.
All righty then.
Baboons,
thank you.
Boobs. Where are we going with this?
Thank you, caller.
So Denise, what did you get into?
Not
Wow, that sounded bad. So hey, how about Denise is periscoping during the thunderstorm and her kids are watching, and I'm like, go get a golf club and run around outside.
So one of them goes and grabs a tennis racket and is like,
I said, go play on the swing set.
Oh my God.
We don't have a swing set.
Yeah, but she's going, don't do what he tells you. I'm like, go find a piece of metal and run around in the rain.
So you don't have a golf club. So your kid grabs a tennis racket.
We didn't. It is her kid.
Oh my God.
So how many kids were on the porch? Like 4?
3.
How many do you own?
3.
I didn't know you had a little girl.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that. I thought
The
that was somebody
oldest
else.
and the youngest are boys, and the middle's a girl.
Oh, see, I didn't know you had a
feel
child
bad
that was a
now.
female.
I feel bad.
I thought for some reason I thought they were all boys. So when I saw this little girl, I'm going, but she kind of looks like them. Okay.
Well, she really only has halfway look like. The other half can be whatever.
But yeah, it was funny typing, go run around in the rain, and they're like, okay. And she's like, no.
If it's not storming, I let them go outside and just run around and play in the rain. But that's why they're like, wait. But then they heard thunder and they're like, no.
Do you ever tell them not to look up when it's raining?
No. They do it anyway.
Oh, okay. They can drown like that. That's why turkeys drowned.
Really?
Yes. Absolutely.
I have no idea on that one.
No, I'm serious. 100%. Turkeys look up in a rainstorm and it'll drown them. So kids should never look up when it's raining.
Sounds strange, but
kind of makes sense.
I'm not arguing it only because I'm a little not sure. Considering Mike does sit and watch a lot of television, there's really no telling what he knows. Look at his face. When it comes to choking turkeys, I think he would know more than anybody.
True.
I call it baloney.
Why are you smacking that like it's a pack of Marlboros, you dum-dum?
What was that all about?
HIPAA.
All right, explain.
He stole both my freaking jokes today.
Well, let's hear it.
All right, that's it.
No, explain where all this is coming from.
Well, on the way, we have generally an hour drive together, so there was probably a good 10-minute rant from me because after the show today, I have to go to another funeral.
No.
You squeeze me?
Yeah, I'm going to another funeral after the
What
show
happened?
today. A gentleman passed away, a friend of mine, Hector
Lord.
Alvarez. But here's, I mean,
he a beaner?
I'm going to every week, man. 2 this week. Hey, I get a T-shirt.
That's the problem. You are entering that age bracket, young man.
I know it's.
I'm
listen, laughing, but he's serious.
Listen, I'm not joking. But the reason is because with you having in your world, you're all you guys have served time. In my world, there's been a lot of drugs on my friends, a lot of theft, and a lot of motorcycle stuff. So just as what we've been talking about over the last couple of weeks is,
it's crazy.
How many motorcycle deaths? I think the count now, since I wrecked, I think the count now is right around 20 deaths. Since my wreck, there's been 20 people that we have been able to count as far as Facebook. And when I say friends, okay, you got to realize, and I'm saying this for the listeners, not to Mike, but it's this conversation with me and Mike, is, there's direct friends and then indirect friends. So,
acquaintances.
Right.
Yeah.
Like your friend Chris, I know Chris, but he's your friend.
Right.
But if you count what me and my wife know, there's actually probably 10 to 12 that we know that's died.
Wow. And that's just
and that's even direct and indirect, about 12. But so far what we've heard, seen, we're up at around that 20 mark. And that's just in last Friday made 4 weeks.
Isn't that, I mean,
in 4 weeks, 20 people died on motorcycles.
Well, for me, like you said, in Mike's world, I've got the military aspect and you know what?
And
since
then
I've
there's
been
school
back,
and
since I got back from a combat zone, I've lost more people to suicide. And then one, you remember the gentleman that was shot? He was working as a guard for LaGuardia. We'd only been back like 6 months. It was a job right back when he got back off of leave, and he gets shot and killed. Can you imagine? But I mean, death is a very much a part of life. I'm okay with death, and my personal opinion is it's just that funerals are, God, how do you say it? Humbling, sad.
Yeah.
And I mean, you guys know me. I avoid that stuff like the plague.
Which I don't blame you.
I have to pay my respects, and I usually don't sit with. I sit way behind or off to a side, or sometimes just stand in the back. And
I stand in the back. I like to stand.
No,
it's kind of like my church thing. I kind of get more of the show. I get the wide angle view. Maybe that's the best way to put it. I get the wide angle view when I get to stand in the back.
Well, we look at different things than most.
Yeah.
And on our trips in, that's as Tyler is he's extremely knowledgeable for his age. So we have these in-depth, conversations, and that's where all this went, is that we started talking about this, and my son-in-law is going through an orientation at a hospital right now because he's going to go to like the radiological school, and he's really bored out of his mind. But everybody has to go through that orientation, and it's not for you to know about what to do when you get stuck with a needle or what to do when the blue light comes on. They call code 99. They're not teaching you anything. They're checking off a block that says you've been taught this.
Right.
So if you screw up, you're on the chopping block.
Right.
And that's just the way, so it was
They're
kind of a
covering their own asses.
It was like a rant. And then we got talking about drugs, and I used to keep my cocaine in my cigarette pack. And then we were talking about all the nasty things you touch with your hands when you work in an adult club. Because I said I never touched the end of my cigarette and put it in my mouth.
Oh, God, no. You always touch. To me, and from what I always watched, and just from, because I'm that guy that thinks 3 steps ahead, you always grab the part that's going to burn in a couple of seconds.
Yeah.
Never touch the part that goes to your mouth. Because at least the flame's going to kill whatever you just touched.
Hopefully. So we were talking about that. So then we got talking about, why do people do that? And he said, well, to pack the tobacco in. And I said, why? And he said, it burns better. I said, well, wouldn't it burn better if the shredded tobacco was kind of open so air could get in there?
Their thought is that if they pack it makes it last long.
So everywhere we were going this morning, we were doing that. And now it's bled over into the
Except when you're like Joe and you hotbox the crap out of a cigarette.
2 tokes and the
Good
cigarette's
Lord.
gone.
Really?
Yeah. Oh,
Brother man can smoke a damn cigarette.
2, maybe 3. And that's a cigarette for him.
And I bet you the cherry's probably like that long.
I was tripping. I was like,
well,
okay?
my guy, I called him my brother. He lived with me for years. But think about this mug. This mug is the
Mug.
height. This height is about the height of a tall boy.
I had my
What
head
the
turned this
hell
way.
are you
Wait,
thinking?
I had my head turned this way when you said mug. That's what we say about like our buds. You know that mug over there, man.
Oh, I get that,
I'm
but-
looking at Tyler. You said this mug. I look over and you're drinking from your glass mug.
Okay, so let's look at your monster drink. Your monster drink is the size of a tall boy, right? Okay.
Yeah, pretty much.
So we sat down one time to watch Smallville. And you know Smallville, well, you probably watch Flash or Arrow, so you get the point I'm going at. So
I never watched Smallville though.
anyways.
Yeah, I know. I was just
So you know that when it starts, it gives you about 5 to 6 minutes of entrance, and then they run to credits,
yeah.
and the beginning, and then a commercial, and then they come back to the show.
Right.
So we're watching the beginning, so we're talking 7 minutes, then about 3 minutes maybe for commercials, and then the show comes back, and then it runs about 10 minutes to commercials.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking maybe there's been a 20-minute period at this point. So it get ready to go to commercial, and I'm like, all right, well, it's on commercial. I'm going to go pee. Now, I was sitting on my couch. Jim was sitting on the next couch, and between the two couches that are at a 45-degree angle, there's that pie-shape opening, and he had an 18-pack.
Dang.
Roughly. When you put all the tall boys together, it's an 18-pack.
Cool.
So I watched him every time he went to open. Hold on, let me do it this way. So every time he went to open a can, he would go thump, thump, psh, and something about the thump did something with the fizz. I don't know.
It's supposed to keep the head down from flowing over.
Well, that's where all them dents on the top of her head. Thump, thump. So the point I'm trying to get at is I saw him right before a commercial go dump, dump, tsh, and I saw him take a sip. I saw him take a second sip. The commercial comes. I go pee. I come back. As he gets ready to go to the bathroom, he goes thump, thump, shh, and takes the beer with him to the bathroom. And he comes out, and I said, "Hey, man, didn't you just open a beer before I went to the pisser?" He goes, "Yeah." I went, "But then you opened the beer when you went to the pisser." He's like, "Yeah." I said, "Did you drink that beer that fast?" He goes, "Yeah, I'm done." I said, "You took 2 sips." He's like, "Well, that's what a tall boy is." And I went, "Oh." I looked down, and there was 3 beers left.
God, what?
Of an 18-pack,
How old is
roughly.
he? How old is he?
He's probably 53 now.
Ooh, that's
So,
bad.
18. So there may have been 3, possibly 4 out of an 18, and we're only 20 minutes into a show.
You ever seen this?
That was my long drawn out version of this.
You ever seen somebody doing this?
double fisting it.
Yeah, well, they're drinking one and they got 2 stacked up in their hand, and then you go, "Dude, you're an alcoholic," and they go, "No, I'm not."
No. Here's Jim. Jim wore carpenter pants, those Dickie type carpenter pants.
That stupid
Okay,
loop on the
thank
side.
you. But not only that, it had that weird hammer pocket.
Yeah.
I watched him with a flannel shirt, beer, back pocket, cargo type pocket, and then the weird funky pocket.
Yeah, he's a walking 6-pack.
And then that weird hammer loop. I watched him force a tall boy into that. He's like, "It don't quite fit, but I'm going to make it. It'll hold it." He was a walking freaking 8-pack.
That's awesome. I love it.
And that's not count what was in his hand.
So if Tyler was to do that, now he's underage, so we know he doesn't drink, but if he did it with those little glass ponies, remember that? Do you remember glass ponies?
Yeah, but when you said pony, I went to a whole nother problem.
Well, can you imagine? HIPAA.
I'm thinking, how many My Little Ponies can he carry now? Okay, come on, keep going.
No, I've screw it. I lost
Has a
the story. I
rainbow
don't-
tail.
Well, it depends how much you're paying me.
Wow.
Get in the chair. just go
Is
get
that
the chair.
thing gonna be around here all the time?
Yeah,
It's a little
that's
creepy.
That's our new. If you answer a question wrong,
No, well,
Oh, do we have any stump
Tyler?
McLovin?
oh, of
I don't
course.
know, but listen,
That's easy.
Dustin Bragg sent me a message and says, "Hey man, is that chair gonna be there all the time?" I was like, "Yes." I said, "If you answer a question wrong, you have to sit in it," and he's not answered back.
Yeah. Could be the
Smart
wrong
man.
answer, you know?
You're a smart man.
Yeah.
He's questioning now. Is he coming back? All right, look, I got 3 messages that I need to get to real quick before we go too far because I have no idea how far they go back. One's for 751. Little Richard, you think 3 steps ahead. Does that count while riding 2? Just messaging with
Yeah,
you?
well, thank you, Little Richard. Next caller.
Yeah, that one's, I'm lost on that one.
Maybe you meant to say just messing with you.
Speaking of a walking 6-pack.
So, so Jeff Matthias says, my boss Dave used to light a gig off a cig.
A what?
What?
I'm lost on that one, Jeff.
I'm not sure why you would combine hardware storage space with smoking.
And at 7:54, you're talking about Joey, and it has a lot of big smiles, and that's Chris from Ravens Renovation.
Oh my God, Jacob, you are a sick dude, man.
And where'd all that come from?
Okay, well, he told me I was a crybaby about the funeral, and so I was like, yeah, whatever. And he goes, I lost count at 30, the 30th funeral I've been to. He said in first grade, his best friend was ran over by a semi-truck.
Why are you laughing?
Because that's funny.
That's traumatic.
Jeff meant to say sig
Hilarious.
off a sig.
Oh yeah, that's horrible. Well,
All right,
that
let's get this. Just for Fun Radio.
Good Twisted Tuesday morning to you.
What's up, man?
What?
Isn't it Taco Tuesday? Doesn't Doc
Easy.
go to... No, Doc
Oh.
goes to get
Uh,
meatless tacos.
is that a taco?
I don't know, but I remember being at the Pink Pony seeing meatless tacos.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
Jesus.
roast beef.
Oh my God.
Okay, a taco. What? A taco
Keep going, Jeff.
without meat is not a taco. I'm sorry. I'm gonna look it up right now. I'm a Wikipedia taco.
Jeff,
What's up,
Yes,
Jeff?
sir.
what the hell do you want? You called?
Jesus, it's like you live here,
It
dude.
was actually that damn autocorrect. It was, you remember Dave, who used to light a
Yes.
cigarette off the cigarette.
Off a cigarette. Yes, I do.
Dave's
remember
not here, man.
that.
And he would do it like, he would do 3 or 4 in a row. I mean, it's one thing you light once, and then
Really?
you go on, but he would light 3 or 4 off of
Yeah,
the cigarette. As soon as he finished it, he'd light his next one.
man, do you know what
That
you're
one.
doing
Dude,
to your body?
How many packs is that a day?
If you ever met Dave reminds me of and Jeff knows him better than me. This is just how I remember Dave. I was like 20 when I met this dude, and he was that guy that was already in his 50s that could never really get fat, could never gain weight, and he always wore jeans and his motorcycle boots and had his little one motorcycle tattoo and his hair that he refused to cut, and he just kept smoking, but he was like a Yankee biker. And it was just the funniest thing. It was just hilarious because you're working on concrete all day in a warehouse and you're wearing friggin' biker boots.
Ugh.
You're 50 years old. They can't be good for the back, the feet, you know.
What's wrong with 50?
The funny part was when I think I've only seen him do it twice, and I've known Dave since '86. Was the twice that he actually wore his biker boots and blue jean cutoff shorts.
Oh my God. See,
No.
I would have never thought he even owned a pair of
Are you
shorts.
serious?
I've seen
Yeah,
people do that with
me
combat
either,
boots.
but
It's
yes,
like,
he did. There was twice that he wore cutoff blue jean shorts with his boots.
Kind of like your
Didn't
one
wanna
leg
do it
was
so hot.
yesterday.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I
Yeah,
was gonna
Jeff
say.
couldn't
Y'all
make
thought
up
I
his
was funny.
mind.
what was that all about, Jeff?
Just for fun radio. That's all it was.
No, that was
Just get a
poor
rise out
dressing.
people,
That's-
get a laugh.
It didn't. It was just in fact, it kind of scared us a little bit. I know it scared me. Do we have a visitor this morning?
Well, my wife's here.
Oh,
She's
that's
on-
she's not
she's
a
on
visitor.
vacay.
Yeah. I tell you what,
Hi,
those two right
Zay.
there, that just, how does that not brighten your day?
And that video was hilarious, Scott.
Oh,
Which
absolutely.
one? Well, when I looked at the
honking
camera and
horn.
went, shh. Well, we were on the expressway and I yanked the car to the right. Hey, Zay, you want to talk?
What's up,
Say something. Say hello.
Zay.
Say hey, Zay.
No, but I actually finally got a chance to listen to the show.
Oh,
So I'm gonna miss the show tomorrow. I've got inventory in the outlet, so
Inventory
Figure
in
I
the
get my-
outlet. That sounds like some
my,
type of
caller.
weird movie.
I am gonna make a call later today to Gravity and say, hey, I'm one of Scott's only listeners.
Oh, duh. Yeah, do that.
a little bit.
Do that. That would be very
No,
funny.
don't.
Because she's probably listening right now. So you just go ahead and say it again.
Hey, I mean, I went by the store. They were closed. I mean,
Well, they're only
They're
closed one day
closed.
out of the week.
they're closed on Mondays.
And that would be the day you went by.
Yeah.
Brainiac.
Well, we
Hey,
didn't know. We
Z.
left O'Charlie's. I was like, hey, let's go right across the street because this one had said that she was going by Gravity. So we said, well, hell, we'll go by Gravity too.
Pull Pop's headphones.
Forgot they were closed on Mondays.
I love you.
headphones.
You have a good day at school, Chicky.
Yeah.
I love you.
Aw,
Oh,
how cute. We're having a family
Bye,
moment in the
Zaylee.
studio, if y'all are wondering.
Hey,
Bye,
while
Zay.
my hand's there, it was almost a boo.
Oh, look, Bella.
it is.
Bella's upset.
Yes.
You know what
Poor
I
thing.
thought about yesterday?
I
after
love you.
got
Be
home?
careful.
Love you guys. Bye, Jay.
Hold on 1 second, Jeff. What?
Me and Anise are going to see some sponsors.
Oh, okay. No wonder you're dressed nice.
Do you get dressed up to go to a spa? Is that what it was?
No, she
Oh.
was fussing yesterday on video about I video her when she doesn't look at her 100. And I said, yeah, but
Are you kidding me?
all them guys are trying to, Danielson, wax on, wax off when they watch her other videos.
Oh my God. When she's not at 100. Yeah, it's when you start out at 1,000. Geez.
You can't tell a woman that. So,
No.
anyways, Jeff,
Your wife's like mine. I mean, there's some women that can get away with wearing no makeup and still look good. Your wife is one of them. So is mine.
that's a
Mike-
good save,
Mike
man.
Mike's kind of the same way. He looks good with or without makeup.
Yeah, I know. I appreciate it. And your wife married down.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
As
Okay,
you just
married
puffed
down
a
or went
cigarette.
Did you just puff a cigarette?
Did you hear him? He's like,
You puffed a cigarette while we're on
Yep.
here. Are you serious? You know that's crap. How long have you smoked for, Jeff?
Let's see, 35 years.
wow.
I was going to
And-
say he smoked as long as I've known him.
Really?
And I met him the first time and I was like 16 years old.
On average,
I
your
was-
daily intake.
I mean, it depends.
I know,
Straight up
but
smoke
on
marks,
average.
we're on average maybe a pack. Sometimes.
And
So
less,
when we
sometimes
do
more.
our vape experiment, when we go on our little vape field trip,
Yeah.
you have to go with us to the vape field
Yeah,
trip.
you're
You have
invited.
to, Jeff. You
It's
just have
invitation only. So
All right, yeah, I
You
can
are
do
going to
that.
be our project. you hear me? Let's do that. Let's make Jeff our just for fun project.
can't we start with something where we have a better chance
To
of
the
succeeding?
to the
Oh
vape
my
store
God.
to try to get him to quit smoking. I mean, really, let's make that a task.
Well, first of all, Jeff, do you want to
Yes.
stop smoking?
Yes, I do.
Okay, then a project,
There you go.
A project it is.
He is one of
All right.
my longest friends ever.
What do you mean by
Hey,
longest?
Scott, stop.
Because I've
God.
known him and I still communicate with him.
Oh.
Like I've known a couple
Oh,
of
I thought you
people
were
and
talking
we don't
about that time
communicate.
in the bedroom.
Yes,
Shut
that's what I thought.
up.
Oh my
That's what I thought you were
God.
talking about. I was about the Wikipedia.
Go light
longest.
another cigarette. Hurry up and die already.
I'm going to Wikipedia longest. Let's see.
Golly.
Yep, it does have something to do with genitalia.
Shut up.
You know what?
2 times.
But
I've
yes,
used that word.
that's going to be, he'll be the Just for Fun project. We need to make sure we go to the vape store and
Yeah.
make sure that we
Let's-
focus on
Yeah.
him and Alex exchanging information.
Okay.
Hopefully Alex is listening. I'll get Alex to share some stuff to Jeff.
Jeff, what are you doing tonight?
yeah.
Work until 7.
Okay, well, after work, come by.
Or at least call into the show and talk to Alex.
Did you just whistle? Don't whistle at me. You made me feel
I did.
uncomfortable.
Chris
Better.
with Ravens says, don't be a quitter, Jeff.
Yeah.
Ravens, come on, really?
Yeah,
Quitters
that's-
never quit.
I
qu-
quit and then quit quitting.
Quitters never lose, and cheaters never lose.
Well, actually, I did decide last night I was going to quit.
What are you
I
doing?
did. After I
You
went to
better
bed.
stop that, Scotty.
Listen, y'all, side conversations while
that's
we're
a-
on air.
well, if he's going to play with that during the show, then there's a problem.
You-
That ain't no sideshow.
It definitely is a sideshow freak.
Okay, Jeff, you decided last night you were going to quit.
Yeah, I actually quit last night. I woke up.
Well, our mission is to put a vape in your hand or a jackrabbit, but it's one of the two, and you're going to quit
Actually-
smoking.
Or an electric
Actually,
chair.
Brandon and I do have the e-cigarettes. We just
Don't
had
use
never
it.
refilled them. So
Yeah,
Okay.
well, when you
Yeah, I
start
know.
trying to vape, it'll change your life.
Yeah, we're
I
gonna.
definitely, dude. I realized actually I had when my mom passed away from lung cancer, but it had nothing to do with her smoking the years prior.
Well, my grandmother, dude, when she died, she died from emphysema and from all the other stuff that involved smoking, and she had quit smoking 20 years before the diagnosing of.
So did my grandmother.
Jeff, can I?
Right.
You know me. I love you to death, buddy, but I'm gonna piss you off.
Uh-oh.
Your mother
Better being
died.
pissed off than pissed on.
Well, it depends. Tyler
Tyler
depends
pays
on
extra
who's-
for that.
Yeah, it depends on who's laying the plastic. Dude, your mother died of lung cancer.
Yep.
And you're going to tell me that it had nothing to do with smoking.
She had breast cancer years before that, and they thought they had eliminated it.
And
when
it
came back,
spread.
it had gotten into her lungs.
Because
And it was
smoking.
because that was one of the things they talked about, and it had nothing to do with her smoking. It was something hereditary.
Well, without getting into the depth of the sadness, let's word it this way.
But
Let's
had
save
quit.
you.
Yes.
Let's save you and give you more time with your wife and your beautiful kids.
When was the last time you had a
No,
physical?
I had quit when my mom passed away. I decided that day I was going to quit, went to her funeral, and quit for about 9 months.
That's good.
Don't know why in the hell I started back, but I just
Stress.
one day just picked one up. I was sitting up in Charlotte for the warehouse sale. Family's all back here. I'm up there by myself.
Stressed out.
So, hey, do you mind if I have one? And that's all it took was just that one. It's an addiction.
Oh,
It is.
It's an addiction.
Absolutely.
And it's more like even if you get past the nicotine stuff, it's the psychological, like your hand going up to your mouth hole.
No, that would be your psychological. Never mind.
Wow. Jeff.
Just kidding.
You just set
Yes,
yourself,
sir.
you
Big
set
question.
yourself up for these things. don't you?
Big question here. Are you
Yes.
are you going to sneak a cigarette once we start this project? Because I'll put a non-smoker on you, man. I know guys that can shoot a cigarette right out of your mouth before you get it lit. But no, it's serious. The reason why I'm asking is, look, I don't mind helping. I love helping. In fact, I think it's a great thing. Plus, you're a friend. Consider you to be a brother. So I'm all about helping you. But here's the thing. Are you going to stress me out? Am I going to call you or come up to you in a bar because Aaron Hill's playing and smack the living crap out of you because you're smoking?
Well, as long as he has
You'll
the
have
vape.
a helper.
Well,
You'll
my
have
thing
several
is,
helpers.
Okay, good.
as long as you have a vape and keep that in your hand, because you can put some nicotine in it
Yeah.
and then
Taper it
reduce
down. Yeah,
and taper it down.
I think that's a good idea.
So maybe when you're smoking, at least then you're going to be on the vape versus the actual cigarette itself.
Exactly.
yeah, because
I
I
got
don't
you.
I don't like to hit friends, but I will.
All right, brother,
You
let
gonna
us
get it and quit it.
let us fade
Real-
over here to a
real-
commercial. What else you
Hey,
got?
real quick though, I thought about it after I got home yesterday. The whole electric chair event yesterday.
Oh, Lord.
Yeah.
You should have played some 80 grand while you were doing that.
God,
Oh yeah, Electric Avenue.
I-
There
Definitely.
you go.
you know what? That's so borderline
we-
illegal. I don't know that we
It's
should
not borderline illegal.
even- Oh my God.
Nobody is
oh.
being forced to sit in that chair. Nobody's being tied into that chair.
Scotty, you're in your studio electrocuting people. And ironically enough, that thing has none of the freaking safety measures or
If you're an adult and you choose to get in that chair,
No.
that's all that matters.
no.
David was talking.
If I choose to
and-
go, okay, if
And
you
all this
decide,
stuff
if you
freaked out
if
last
you
night.
decide to juggle with chainsaws, how am I responsible for that?
Are they your chainsaws?
Doesn't matter whose
If they're
chainsaws.
your chainsaws and I'm on your property, you better believe there's a responsibility.
I think if you're going to keep trying to air my laundry, then you need to shut up. I can't believe we're over here having
want
fun and
some
Mr.
laundry.
Testicle, not testicles, Mr. Testicle wants to try to be all sourpuss.
No, I'm not testicles.
Hey, you guys have a great day.
you
Sorry
too,
I'm gonna
man.
miss the show tomorrow.
Bye, Jeff.
All right, man. We'll
Keep
see
it
you
real
later.
for me.
Thanks
All
for
right,
calling
bye,
in.
See you, dude.
All right, bye.
You're welcome.
All right, y'all. We're going to shoot off the commercial. We'll be right back. It's just fun in the morning.
Look what little
In the morning. We'll be right back.
look what little Richard said on the video.
Oh, boy.
Oh, yeah.
All right, apparently we did go offline for a second, but came right back on.
Right.
About.
I think after the show, we should reset the modem.
Do what?
I think after the show, you should reset everything.
Oh, I will after the show. I'll go up and reset it and hope for the best.
Yeah, because I mean the internet part's working good, so
Yeah.
we know the modem is
Well, we don't know.
transmitting.
We don't know that the modem's not blinking for a second.
Yeah. Well,
because with
it's-
you guys, you losing communication with a site doesn't.
you may
doesn't-
never
it's-
even know.
Well, yeah, like me though, that's transference of big
Plus,
information.
we're talking about going out and coming in.
Right.
Two different things.
So it's like, shoot, man. Because my guy has to, my system has to log into that every time it comes back out.
When I first started doing websites from my home office, I don't even remember who it was, but they started trying to charge me extra because I was FTPing. Instead of just looking at the internet, I was transferring data out. Came up with some plan, $1,700 a month. What bite you got? Damn. It says a taco is a traditional Mexican dish composed of corn or wheat tortilla folded or rolled around a filling. I was hoping it was going to say meat. Oh, Jesus. Oh, Jesus. Jesus Christ.
Jesus Christ.
Electric eye.
Little Richard Tyson said, "Does anybody notice that Jeff said 'sir' to Denise?"
I didn't, but that's fun. Well, if he wants to stop, but man, there's nothing worse. There's nothing worse than somebody looks you right in the face and says, "Yeah, I want to stop. Please help me." 2 days into it, you catch them smoking.
Oh,
You want to
I
choke
agree.
We used to have a squirt bottle. That'll stop you from smoking. Freaking sitting around and you freaking start smoking, somebody freaking hoses you down with a squirt bottle. Was that Brie?
Yeah, she's always somewhere.
Really? And Danny, I've known Danny since he was in diapers. That just freaks me out, man. As always. He works for CSX. Doing what? I don't know. Never.
David was talking about how he was a yard manager for Copart Auto Auctions.
Really? From my daughter work.
Oh, really? Which office? Loganville?
Loganville? Yeah.
He worked out at Austell.
Somebody else you guys know works up there too. James?
But anyway, one of the times that he had gotten there and Molly, the office manager, was supposed to turn off the fence and he went to go reach through. And those things are
They'll
like
light you
8,000. I think you said it was 8,000, but it pulses. It's not like a constant thing.
So it's like, ow, ow.
He said all he can remember, he said it felt like somebody took a hammer and hit him in the chest.
Well, did you ever see the video of the dog always got the piss on an electric fence and it shot right through his piss?
Are you serious?
My dog,
I thought
Ken
it
and
doesn't do that.
Huh?
I thought it was proven that it
will
doesn't.
too.
How about this? Last night on Naked and Afraid,
I can't believe you like that show.
watch this. Envision this being the water, the length of the table and the width of the table. So these two people are trying to corral this giant, and they're in the water up here in the Amazon, corral an electric eel. They get it into an area as small as one table, and they keep on, and the guy gets it this close to the dirt. And this thing's probably like
Electric eels can be up to 12,000 volts.
600,000 volts out of this.
And it doesn't have to touch you.
And the dude was like this, and it swam past him, and it felt afraid, and goes, and it lit the dude up as he was sitting in the water.
I bet you I could hear you laughing.
I was dying laughing because the whole time I'm like, "You idiots are fixing it! You're fixing it! You're fixing!" Bow! Crystal goes,
That
nailed it.
show is so
600,000.
Are you?
This eel's that big around.
Yeah.
I'm watching the 40 days one.
And that's got a bunch of people.
Right, they're down to 10 people now, or 9.
What is this?
So they get voted off.
Naked
Or they
and
quit.
No, they have to just survive. The one that left last night was friggin' borderline hallucinating from dehydration and no protein. And he's kind of like me, where his sugars dropped. So 4 days into it, he's like, "Dude, I've got to find some fruits to put back what I need." Well, he made it 31 days, and last night, dude, it was bad.
So are there like pretty much like EMTs on the side that are like, okay, we can't
Oh
let
yeah,
you
there's
go anymore.
ambulance care.
Yeah.
Yeah. it's-
Or the producers
these-
are like, we
But
can't
these
let you do
dudes are
anything
naked,
anymore.
and they've been given like whatever they want, one of something. So you either get one knife or one pot for water or one mosquito net or
1 month and a 5-star.
Yeah.
And then one lady that quit a couple days into
40
the show,
days.
she got pissed off at the two guys that she started out with because they were set in pairs or a pack of 3. The lady takes their shit and goes and throws it in the river and then quits and walks off and leaves them with nothing.
Oh my God.
But watching some of these
She was
people
paid to do that.
with these different, no, she was,
And you know when they're naked like that, they get dirty. The female body.
one of them went
Clean.
on their period. Good God. Like last night,
Don't get in the water.
last night on the episode I was watching last night, they were asleep and they kept hearing, and they knew something wasn't right. They woke up the next morning, there was friggin' paw prints that big, and when it's walking, the spread is like 3 some odd feet.
Big animal.
And one of the guys went like this and said, "That's taking a bigger step than I'm taking." And they held their foot down, and their foot was not as wide as this paw print, and they were just like, this thing's stalking us at night, right?
Yeah.
That's big enough to take down a man.
A predator cat will only make 2 prints because its back foot steps into its front foot's print.
Oh yeah, because that's all they showed was this.
Yeah.
You didn't
So
see any of these.
That's a
You only
predator
saw
because
this.
it's limiting its size. Man, I'm like freaking. I'm kind of an important guy.
Dude, you should watch it because you're like me. You will look at it and go,
I
"Why
watched
are
it
you doing
I
this?"
watched it when it was just the 2 people.
No, you need to see
And,
this one. This
the
one's neat.
first couple of shows was good. Then they start bitching. I just can't stand that TV reality bitching.
But now they're all fighting about they don't want drama, and when you start being drama, they're pretty much telling you to get on.
That's why I like Redneck Island.
Dude, I'm
'Cause,
telling
man,
you.
I love Redneck Island.
This-
One, because country girls in shorts just turn me.
Oh, and they don't put up with shit from anybody.
Man, they will beat each
I
other
tried
down.
watching Party Down South. Have you watched that?
Oh my
Yeah,
god.
Jesus
that's
Christ,
so
that is so
scripted.
stupid.
Is that the one in the trailer park?
No.
No.
This is where the,
They-
Oh, this where they
Bring-
traveled to the different place.
Oh, no.
They bring everybody together in a house and
Some girl named Hot Dog. I'm gonna look her up in a minute.
Yeah.
All right, let's go live.
Waterhead.
All right, we're going back. Anybody got any stories today?
Well, I was just gonna say the discussion. Shut up. The discussion during the break was kind of unusual.
Which one?
Well, we went from somebody we know on Facebook to to
Getting electrocuted.
getting electrocuted.
Well, we were
naked.
talking about Naked and Afraid.
Well,
Oh, watch that video.
so then we were talking about Naked and Afraid, and then you said someone was on their period on the show, which freaks me out. And then I was saying I didn't like the reality TV show arguing. If you like reality TV show arguing, please call in. I'd love to call you a name.
Well, Naked and Afraid, that's the thing, is on the first double ones where it was just pairs, you'll see the fighting. Well, now what they've done is they've taken all these people that survived or didn't survive, and they're calling this kind of the all-stars. So the girl I was saying that threw the stuff in the river was also a girl that only survived like a day.
Oh yeah, I would have killed her. In
Well,
her
and that
sleep.
happened after the first day there.
And she was just cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. And what's funny is, like, they're in one part of the Sahara. So here you got this one part that's dry, and there's so many different climates. Now the temperature's kind of staying relatively the same, but they're in one area where there's these trees and there are lots of fruits, and there's this nice diving type pool of water where they can swim and the water's clear. There's no fish and no protein. Then these other 3 are this other place that they're swampy, no fruits, hot, but they can try to catch stuff to eat. And then there was another place that just had nothing but cactuses, but they could get their water that way. So it was kind of crazy,
Heavy emphasis on Z.
man. But watching all the personality.
Now you said that they get something. They
Okay,
can
they
have
get a
something.
choice. They get a choice of a knife or one object they can bring in there. So
Is
some
there a list?
No,
No.
they get one thing. So, but I want to tell you this because you being who you have been in your life. So, the one thing, one lady shows up with a pot, another lady shows up with a machete, a guy shows up with a big survival knife, because they're thinking water.
Yeah, I can. Yeah, I'm sitting there thinking that's a pretty good idea, actually. Paul.
And I can't remember if this guy's from the previous where there's the 2 people or from this show. I think he's from the 2 people show. He shows up with fishing line.
Yeah.
And he's like, it's 30-pound test. You could do all these things with it. The problem is, really, truthfully, there was not a whole lot he could do.
No.
So it was really crazy.
When you can find stuff in the wild that you could use.
Well, generally, when you're in a survival mode, you're not going to fish for fish like we think of fishing.
But here's what gets me. So here's the girl with the mosquito net. And when they were separate, when they were just 3 groups of 3, because it originally started out with X number of people. My point is, this girl ended up with this other group of females, and they were taking the net and they were trying to catch smaller fish like sardine size, which is great.
Yeah.
But then last night They're trying to catch an electric eel, and the whole time I'm looking at the TV going, "You've got a mosquito net, you dumb ace. Why are you not using the mosquito net?" They're down there bare hand trying to catch an electric eel. It was hilarious.
Yeah,
That's never going to end good.
Well, it's just dumb from the beginning.
It's
Somebody,
freaking hilarious.
why didn't somebody go, okay, wait, before we go doing this, y'all.
Well, here's the problem: is there's these two guys that have been working great together. They get along. They're great together.
Mhm.
Then you have this group that was two guys and a group that was three females, and they kind of merged together.
Good.
And then they ended up walking for the Piranha Lake, which is where the two guys were staying. So now here's the two.
Hell no.
Here's the two guys that have been surviving good in their own group. Good communication skills. They do good. Then you have this pack of five that shows up. The problem is the pack of five are like monkeys. When I say that, I mean, if four of them have a stupid idea, the fifth one, the smart one, goes along with it.
It's kind of like here in the studio.
Peer pressure.
Yeah, it is kind of like this.
It's just kind of, come on, y'all do it.
You look more like an orangutan. You do
Well,
know they're
I'm-
usually the fat, lazy ones.
But we're the small ones. Think about it. You ever watch Planet of the Apes? Who's the big guy? Who's your buddy? Who's your pal?
Who's the first one to get killed? The one that can't move fast.
No, they don't shoot me. I'm lovable.
He's
I'm like-
lovable.
I'm like the panda bear in the.
Make up your mind. Are you a bear or you a monkey?
There's not much difference.
Tyler hasn't said much today.
Yeah. Okay.
Stumbled
Listen,
over his
listen.
words.
The mosquito net's a great idea, and I'll tell you why. Because you can use it in net, you can use it for cover, you can use it to filter.
Did you,
Now, can they use
Watch.
each other's stuff?
Yes, yes,
Oh,
yes.
okay,
But
cool.
here's the
Yeah.
stupid thing when it comes to this net. Now, come on. This is so. Me and you could see multi uses for the net.
Hundreds.
So they're walking, and it's like, think of you carrying firewood. You have your arm out, and you got 5 logs of wood. Well, your arm's carrying 5 24-inch long pieces of wood. Your arms are probably just fine. Now, what if I tried to hand you 25 oranges? How are you going to carry 25 oranges?
in the net.
In the net. And they don't use it that way.
Now,
like-
did they know this eel was electric? Did they know?
Yes, they know because
Okay.
the
Can you eat
the
an
two-
electric eel?
the two guys that have been there the longest, yes, they've already been cooking electric eel.
Okay.
Yes. The point is this though: the two guys that have already been there, hunted,
Doing good.
caught, ate the electric eel. These people have a friggin' net, and not one of them go, "Hey, boo boo, hey, go get the net." It's more like, "Hey, man, grab the eel."
Did they
So,
sharpen some sticks?
They're naked.
They're naked and afraid.
Completely.
Did he have to go home? After
No,
being zapped?
no. He just stood up and was like, that's not a good idea.
It's a general rule, and it's. I read it. If you're naked, don't walk in Piranha Lake. I'm just saying.
Oh, now it gets worse. It gets
I
worse.
wrote it down.
Previews for next week.
That's the
So
sad part.
the end of this, they're traveling apparently across this lake. The two guys that seem to work good together build a raft.
Good for them.
You see them putting the raft in the water. They're getting on the raft. It goes really quick because you know how previews are. It goes really quick to these 5 people swimming across the lake. If you picture a clock, they're swimming in the middle of the clock, and at about a 1 o'clock position, this big movement happens, and they go, "What the hell was that?" And somebody goes, "Oh crap, it's the piranha," as 5 people are swimming through the lake. Why is it that 5 people are so stupid? You even use the word piranha or alligator, and I'm not going for a skinny dipping,
I'm not
sir.
even putting my toe in there.
I might get naked.
Oh,
I
Lord.
was just-
I would be afraid. Then.
That would be, yeah.
Yeah, you get naked, and I'm afraid.
So
Okay.
here's
Well,
so
y'all watch
here's
the
the other,
previews for
he-
next week.
here's the other thing. The other thing of the show that was so funny. So me and my wife are laughing because we're like, okay, so
That's
you
crazy.
got all these naked women, sexy women here, naked. You got all these guys. And when the women first get there, they're clean shaved.
Smell good.
Last night we were laughing because, a lot of them's dropped weight. They have hairy armpits. One of them that's all tatted up. She's actually like a rock climber. She looks like a dude now. And I'm like, I guess if you're there for 40 days, even that would be sexy.
We
If
used to
you're the
call
guy
that,
that's stuck there with her.
we used to call that deployment pretty.
Good Lord.
Yeah,
One
'cause-
of them was in a tree. So how about this? 5 of them were two of them were in the water, right? Two of them were in the tree, and another one kind of standing to the side, and they're trying to corner a tree snake.
No, this is going to end up good.
And they're trying to throw stuff. They're trying to shake the branches. And the whole time I'm looking at my wife going, did the two standing in the water realize that when the poisonous snake falls and smacks the water, one of the two is going to get bit? How about the two people that are in the tree that kind of have their arms and legs wrapped around the tree and can't get out of the tree very fast?
And naked too.
This is a tree snake. How fast do you think this thing can travel in a tree?
Fast.
And they're wrapped around the tree. And the one guy that's part of the 2-man team sits down and says the words, I'm just going to sit here and watch this show. I haven't seen a TV in a while. AJ just sits down and starts watching. He's just looking at the camera going, how stupid can you be?
Yeah, that would be me.
So, I mean, it's actually,
No, I'm not.
I
I'm not doing
recommend the show that only does the two people. It gets a little boring at times. This one that has the group is friggin' hilarious.
Group mentality, man. Group mentality.
It is. It's like watching
Does
a
it
pack of
have
dogs.
a different name than the
It's-
two-man
it's-
to two group one?
It's still Naked and Afraid, but it's Naked and Afraid Extreme or something like that. That tells you the difference of the 40-day challenge and the people.
You said they're at day 31.
Yeah, and they're in like
Oh, wow.
Brazil or something. And they're day 31. Yeah, I mean, I actually like this one because it picks up the pace a little bit. You don't see some of the slow, stupid, boring stuff. But what's neat is there's a friggin' vegetarian. And now that they're stuck in the no vegetables, no fruits, nothing but eel, this girl's like, I'm so afraid that I'm going to have to eat an animal and break my beliefs. Or you could just lay there and die. It's one of the two.
As soon as I get home, I'll put on my leather pants.
And
leather
what is
shoes.
it on? Isn't it on
I think it's Discovery.
Discovery?
Yeah. It's neat, though. It really is neat. You have to go check it out. So, anyways, anybody got anything else? I'm
it's
on my
just-
rant.
No, it wasn't a rant. I think
I think
like
it's
that
funny. It's really cool.
And I say there's a big difference between conspiracy theorists and preppers. And preppers and survivalists are pretty much the same thing. You know what a prepper is? A good survivalist.
Yeah.
You know, as far because I don't believe in the guy with the long ponytail and hasn't worn a pair of shoes or paid a bill in 30 years.
And the guy that gets shocked,
Cody Lindeen.
Yeah.
yeah.
Wood hippie.
Well, the guy that gets shocked by the eel is one of those. He's got the long beard. He's really laid back hippie. Believes in living off the land.
Yeah.
The problem behind all this is there's so many things that they've done, like when they first got there, and then all of a sudden they got dumb and they don't remember doing certain things. I'm kind of like, for instance, when they got ready to walk across the Sahara area of it, and it's 108 degrees, and they didn't take like big leaves to hold over their face to keep them in the shade. I'm like, what did you not think about this? I mean, did you really not think about this?
But you're always like 2-3 steps ahead, so you think about that, but it doesn't mean
And then
everybody else does.
how about this? And one of them in the beginning made some like flip flops to wear.
Yeah.
And then
That's what I
all
was thinking of.
and then all of a sudden he just quits wearing them. And then when he goes walking across the air, all he's doing is complaining about his feet. And I'm thinking,
No.
didn't you have flip flops? Aren't you the guy that made flip flops? And here's the other thing that gets me: they're walking, and from their knees down, I mean, they're naked. All this brush is just scraping their legs, and I'm like, why didn't you cover yourself in mud? A, it would have kept you cool. B, it would have definitely kept the mosquitoes and stuff from nearly, eating you to death. And all that caked up mud would at least help the branches and these thin razor type leaves to just kind of brush past you. At this point, why not just try anything?
Well, yeah, and a lot of plants have, if you break them right by where the leaf begins, there's different types of what I would say
Antioxidants and all these other things.
You can, maybe where they were, you could find a yucca plant, or you could find something with aloe vera.
Get some of the black coal out of the fire.
Man, let me tell you something. You could take freaking leaves and vines
Yeah.
and make an entire suit out of them.
And these people are not.
Those razor. Well, see what happens is, if those little razor leaves that you're talking about, if they cut you,
Mhm.
and then let's say you go in that water and there's feces in that water,
Bacteria.
I mean, it can, and with no antibiotics and low nutrition.
Right.
Yep.
Well, how about this? This is the funniest of all. Okay, so you apply to be on this show. Let's use a calendar date. So you apply in January.
Mm-hmm.
You hear back from them spring.
Yeah.
Springtime, they say, about fall, we're going to bring you in, and then say November, we're going to then go travel and we're going to put you through this experiment. From the second that you applied, why did you not start walking around barefooted to toughen up your feet?
Yeah.
Why not pack on a few extra calories?
Yeah.
Why not start teaching yourself some survival things that you think you might need to know?
And if you don't get on the show, you're still
Better for it.
better for
but
it.
most of the time, if you apply for the show, you're supposed to be that person that already has some kind of normal, experience.
I don't think the producers are looking for that.
Well, but most
It's
of the
more
people
fun
that
if
get
they're-
on there are already people that claim to be
'Cause
survivalists.
Remember that one? God, what was that show where they used to vote people off?
That would be survival.
So Survivor.
Mhm.
Remember who won the first time? The guy who got naked and he was a former Navy SEAL.
Yes.
I mean, come on. That was like a walk in the park for him. What almost ruined it was those bull crap alliances with each other.
And see, right now that they don't have that. This
They
is
have a voting thing.
this is all about who can really survive.
Yeah.
So-
Well, there's, like I said, what's that guy's name, Tyler?
Cody Lindeen.
That dude has not paid a bill or lived in a house for 30
Oh yeah,
plus
he's
years.
out in Arizona, dude. He gets paid to teach people.
Yeah. So, okay.
He truly lives off the grid.
Yeah. Yeah. And so, I mean, if there's an apocalyptic episode,
Who you think is going to survive?
I, some of the stuff he does might help, but some of the stuff he does, he's not going to be able to do.
Well, what he does will work for him
yeah.
where he's living,
Yeah.
but
May not work in
it
Covington.
may not work. Yeah, that's the catch.
The first
In other
thing I
words,
tell
if the
people-
apocalypse happens,
Yeah.
as long as he stays right where he's at, he'll be okay.
I'd like to take all these survivalists like Bear Grylls and Cody Lindeen and then whoever else and put them in like Compton and see how long they
But now, here's the point I'm getting to is, look, you know what I tell everybody when they ask me about this stuff? I say, what the very, very first thing that's gone? I mean, like almost immediately. Electricity.
Oh God, yeah.
Gone.
Well, most of the time I say, if you get stranded on a deserted island, what do you want? And they go, my cell phone. I'm like, okay, one, you're not going to have cell signal, and two, the battery's only going to last so far. What would make you think that's what you need?
Wireless internet.
The coolest thing though, in real life situations, is the trash. Hopefully, you will
It'll-
find trash.
There's going to be so much trash build up.
I mean, because you're going to find plastic bottles.
Yeah.
And depending on the temperature, all you got to do on getting, and not as long as it's not completely disgusting doo-doo water, you can get creek water, close the top of a Ziploc or a bottled water and go sit it on the rock. As long as it's good hot weather, that'll help,
There's so many things that people, we're going to start talking about a little bit of that on Guns and Gadgets
Yeah.
here as we start moving on. But I got to tell you, when you tell people, well, this is what I want you to do. I want you to go with no electricity today.
Right.
None.
Try to
And
go without a phone.
when your phone dies, that's it.
Yeah.
You
I've
can't
done
use
it.
That's why I wanted Guns and Gadgets to not just be guns. That- And you being smart aleck about me doing the little fish catcher, I'm like, because that's survival.
Fish catcher.
Remember you made a joke about the little thing I showed from the survival page where the guy makes a little trap where you're going in the creek
Oh,
and
yeah.
he catches the fish. It's
Yeah.
because that's part of surviving.
Have you ever seen somebody, seriously, have you ever seen somebody who doesn't know what the hell they're doing trying to catch a fish in a creek?
Yes.
That's got to be the funniest damn thing in the world. And if you just grab a log and some freaking rocks, it's like easy.
No, what's funnier is when you have a guy, okay, so I know a little bit about guns. I know how to shoot them,
Mhm.
but I'm not going to sit here and try to tell you how to fix like an
Yeah.
M60. I have no idea. So where I'm going with this is I love when there's people that have absolutely no clue what they're talking about and they say it like they know. For instance, and this is you'll have something to say for this. So we're staying somewhere, Harley the other day, down there in Noonan, and everybody's trying to plug into the same outlet. And I said,
Oh my God.
I'm like, dude, this isn't gonna work. Like, I have to have my music. These people better go find, where somewhere else to plug. And there's this dude that walks up and goes, yeah, man, because this is only 277. Does nobody understand why that's stupid?
Yes.
Because you can't plug anything into 277. 277 is a great lighting circuit.
Yeah. 277
277 works great as a single phase or a three phase to feed. we got to get the dog up to feed the to feed motors and stuff. Look at Oz go right back out. She was half asleep. But let me go get them up. But that's the funny thing is when they say that and it's nothing. It's absolutely nothing. You can't plug a blender in 277. All right, let's go to a commercial. Oz is here, everybody. We'll be right back.
Bella listens to Tyler better than you.
What's you know, she's scared when I'm raising hell.
Bella listens to everybody.
That was hilarious.
Yeah, Oz, or you don't think so?
Come on in, Oz.
Yeah, this boy, I got something to talk about this morning.
Here, do you need your bed? Stop, you need a bed? Okay, come on.
Morning. Guys, this is Evan.
Morning.
Come on, Evan. It's a habit. I was typing in this.
Okay. We'll need one.
Sir, how are you today?
What's going on, brother?
You doing good?
I'm doing well.
That was good.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I got a lot to talk about this morning.
He hightailed it back out. Did
That
you
was
see him?
hilarious. It's a good
You wanna
thing
get
she
on
was just
the
sleeping.
It's just- He was like, boink as fast as he can.
Well, when you don't know a dog, hell, I went right back.
That's right.
Oz, there's chicken. Why don't you bring chicken up here? Ask him if you want to be on the radio.
They don't have the heart and soul.
They just know how it all works.
They know how it all works.
If you change your mind, this is Tyler.
He'll
Look, yeah.
give me an earful when we leave. That's what I should have said.
But it's a piece of cake, so don't think putting us out now.
Absolutely.
Easy
How
living.
you doing,
You gonna yell at us today or what?
Yeah.
baby? Good. I'm
Oh,
gonna be with
we're
you. for a minute.
live.
What's up, Tyler?
we're like right now we're still live
Good.
through YouTube. We stream live, but then Scotty will say when we go on the air.
Hurry, Scotty, I gotta go to the bathroom.
Oh,
Put the seat down.
No, why would I do that?
Tyler, this is my son, Evan.
Oh, how's it going? That's why I pants started to get wet.
oh, gross.
Oh my gosh. I'm still messed up. Not ready.
Where's Doc?
Tuesday she does some homeschooling stuff.
Okay.
No, something else today. Wednesday's homeschool.
I don't know. I'm glad one of y'all keep it up.
Yeah.
Tuesday, Wednesday, she has stuff she has to do.
Well, I want to talk about her video and what's going on with party houses and all that.
Good, good.
I'm
good.
sure she's listening.
It's got it.
What?
And the chocolate candy and potato chips are Little Debbie's. What's the deal, Neil? You're not going to start bringing something for everybody.
If he gets me to read something, you can't keep talking. Because I can't do both.
You can't listen.
So-
and
How much? Living a life. What time is it? 8:30.
Nah, 8:30. Oh God, 8:30. Hey, jeez, it's not later than that.
Do you want me to continue with the Bangkok story?
Yeah, hang on.
I mean, obviously not now. It's Austin still yet, but
Well, you know, I want to talk about the Antichrist, Hillary Clinton.
okay.
Oh, that woman. It's a habit that moves. Wash, babe. Jacob's real talkative this morning.
Ah.
What?
Talk to you later.
Oh, man, don't talk to me later. I got to go to that funeral right after the show. Yeah.
Where's Dublin? I mean, I know, but
Dublin.
Georgia.
Dublin's
Yeah,
like
you said Ireland.
around
This is
Macon.
like-
Yeah, I was saying the same thing. You went to Ireland.
75 south.
Way down now.
A couple hours ish.
It's way down there,
Maybe
Yeah, it's
two.
past Macon.
Just past
down from the Chattahoochee.
Yeah, maybe 2 hours.
Lawrence County. Yeah, about 2 hours.
Whoa.
I go that way to go to Savannah.
Working at the
Ain't a lot, lot there. But isn't that where the kid got killed, rolled up in the
In the map,
high
in the
school.
mat?
Valdosta.
That was all.
That was Valdosta.
Yeah.
You sure?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I just watched that last
I
night.
thought that was Lawrence County.
Let me check.
Oh God,
Lawrence or Lawrence?
Lawrence.
It's possible
Lawrence.
it could just be near Valdosta.
LAWRENS?
That's right.
Man, now you got me wanting to see if freaking Redneck Island's coming back on. That and Broken Skull Ranch, man. I love Broken Skull.
I just watched this
Oh
because
my
it's hot
God, I love
chicks.
watching that.
Broken Skull Ranch is the epitome. It's like freaking Gladiators. I used to watch American Gladiators. I'll say it.
Oh my
All
God.
right, going back. Just Fun Radio. We are back. It's hard being professional when you are so not professional in this joint. We try to.
He yells at us to be quiet, and then he says, "We're going live."
Yeah, Lowndes County.
Yeah, because y'all are having stupid conversations that when we go live has nothing to do with anybody who's listening from the radio spectrum, and they're like, "What are you doing?"
Spectre? That's
Just let me go with it.
That's the guy who's after James Bond.
If anybody ever wonders why we have this military dude go missing, we'll hang a POW sign for him.
Well, I want to talk about the things that I don't appreciate.
Yes, let's go for it.
I don't
Oz
appreciate.
is in the house.
I don't appreciate that damn dog in there when I was coming in this morning. I mean, you know, the first thing I try to get into the studio, and there's a dog.
Home
growling at
security.
me. Look, you can call it home security. You can call it whatever. He didn't know me. I didn't know him. By the way, what's the dog's name?
Bella.
It's a her.
See what
It's
I'm
a her.
saying?
She don't like guys, which is the biggest problem
That's
ever.
Well, and maybe a problem with black guys too.
No, she's
because
black.
Well,
She's mixed breed.
she was mixed breed.
You know, the
She-
catch is if you are a small figured body,
Which you are not, by the way.
whether
Watch
you
your
be
mouth. Watch your mouth.
whether you be male or female, if you're a small body and you talk like a female with a soft voice, she'll let you get close enough. Just don't get in her face.
So if I had said, "Hey, Bella,"
No, you're just too
What's
big
up,
of a
Steve?
person.
Yeah.
Oh.
And I've noticed you've been gaining weight.
wait a minute now.
My golly.
God, Lee.
Is he not gaining weight?
Wait, hold it.
Oz, stand up. Stand up, Oz.
Well,
Stand
Yeah,
up, Oz.
Oz. Yeah, Oz.
Stand
Come
up.
here
Wait,
so
wait.
that my
Stand
white
up.
fat man can
Oz.
embarrass you.
He does this to me
Stand
too. It makes him feel better about
Don't feed
himself.
into this. Don't feed into this.
See how he said feed into it?
Oh my God. Did you say food?
Don't feed into this.
Well, it's a confession and maybe a testimony, but the truth of it is, I've gained weight.
In your
See,
face.
denial's
In
the.
your face.
I didn't say anything. Denial's the
face.
first step, and you're not denying
No.
it.
I'm not
so.
denying
No,
it at all. In
denial
fact-
is a river.
In fact,
Shut up.
I'm not denying it. I'm not in denial. I have a plan, and my plan is to shed some
Look,
pounds.
here's
My
mine.
son and I just talked about this a few days ago. Is that right? That's right.
Well, you need to come over. You know what you need to do? You need to come over and be part of the rap thing that we've got going to help shed some poundage.
Don't do it. It's a chair and it hooks up to the house.
No, we're not. Leave it to Spaz over here to keep time to take. No. Everybody, we are trying to all get fit over here and try to lose some pounds, man, because this one's not. He's trying to eat his way in ice cream.
Well, let's just tell me what's going to happen next Tuesday when I come to the studio. Will I have the dog encounter? Will Bella be there? Or
No,
Yes.
no, she just happened to be out this morning.
just happen?
And she's the hunchback of.
We're lucky
Just
we
for fun
survived the
radio.
next
Hey,
day.
you're lucky we don't have the chair out today.
Did you see the video of the
Wait a
chair?
minute. When you say the chair, I'm a former police officer. I think about the chair you put people in when they come into the jail and they don't act right.
Hold on.
They
They don't act
Hold
right. Is that
hold
the
for a
kind
second.
of
Hold on.
chair?
Did you see yesterday's videos? And we're gonna assume you didn't. So I'm gonna scroll down real fast, and I'm gonna show this video for you to see. Okay, watch this right here.
There's-
Oh,
No, I don't want
Put your
to.
hands back.
I don't
Oh
want
man.
to.
Put your hands back.
Take your mind.
Everybody, radio people are listening.
Okay.
Golly, every time. There you go. But that'll give you the gist of it. I built a real working electric chair. Watch. And we are videoing the hell out of it.
Oh my God.
It will be on our Facebook in a minute. All right, everybody on Radio Land, just hang tight.
Oh my God.
On three. Okay.
No, you're gonna do it before 3.
When I get to 3, I'm gonna say 1, 2, 3, go. All right, ready? 1. Do not lift your hands.
My hands are shaking.
Jesus Christ. Ready? 1, 2. Yesterday on the highest moment, it was registering 122 volt.
That's one of those what I call
a white people thing.
WFO, white folks only.
We-
That's not the joke that you put a black boy in the electric chair. You ain't gonna fry my. Let me just tell you now. That's just something you just. Where is that chair?
It's right behind the curtain.
Listen, Bella, nothing else will stop me from not getting in that chair.
I
Well,
won't.
see-
I won't plug it in if you just want to at least take a picture in it because
Wait.
it's creepy looking.
We asked Doc the other day, and she
Oh,
goes,
my
"Oh
goodness.
hell no, Scott."
Doc. Let me get this right. We joke about Doc talking like a white nerdy old woman, and all of a sudden it was straight up. Hell no, I ain't getting up in that chair.
Well, see, I didn't know if you ran out because of the dog or you saw the chair because it's looking right at you when you
I
come in
think
the
it
door.
was shock. Hell, I didn't see no chair. It was that dog I saw. I mean, y'all going from one to next week. I come in, you gonna have a water hose in here. You talking about a flashback? Leave me alone.
All I know is he's gonna come in and start talking some crap about Selma next week when he walks in. I'll be like, no.
Can we all just get along?
No, but if you do want to take a picture of it before you leave, because it is just kind of look at Mike. It is a creepy looking chair.
Don't play with me. I'm straight out of Augusta.
I will let you see the plug so you know it's not plugged in the wall.
a fake plug.
No,
Oh,
no.
my
No, it's not. I can tell you it's not.
Well, did you get a little zing in your? I mean, did you get?
Well,
did you
Scotty
feel?
did it.
Did you feel the love?
Oh my God, Scotty did it twice, but I lasted the longest.
Ooh.
So there's a lot of weird things I could say right now.
Almost
but
like something she like. I don't know what to say about that. Wow.
I'm just gonna kind of go with yeah.
Okay. Well, listen.
Hey Oz.
It's Town Topic Tuesday. That's right. It's Town Topic Tuesday. And one of the things that's been talked about around town this morning is the videos about the party houses over in the subdivision just around the corner. I mean, this is and let's just call it an epidemic. I mean, I got to give Doc the hats off for bringing this issue up and shining the spotlight on it. It's not just a Rockdale County issue. This is happening all over the country. However, the folks here in Rockdale, including myself, we don't like it. We don't want it. We don't welcome this at all. However, being one of your commissioners, I have to say this. We must follow the perimeters, the legal parameters in terms of doing what needs to be done. You just can't go do certain things legally without just cause and without legal guidance and without the proper direction is what I'm trying to say here. In other words, why don't you just go shut them down? It doesn't work like that. First of all, if you notice, if you want to talk fact here, not emotion, but fact. I'm separating fact from emotion. So listen, when you look at the video, you notice that the vehicles were nicely parked in the roadway.
And technically, by the way, some of them are illegally parked too, if you noticed in the video.
Yeah, well, stay with me here, DJ Scotty. They were not obstructing the road. In other words, if a fire truck, according to the video,
right,
had to come down the road, if a police car, an ambulance, or any emergency vehicle needed to travel down that road, they could have traveled down the road without being obstructed by a vehicle.
Right.
That's one thing. Then, according to the video, I didn't see people lollygagging or perhaps this word loitering outside on the lawn, in the street. That wasn't, it appears to be well organized. Now, here's the thing that we don't like. We just don't like having it in our neighborhoods. I wouldn't want it on my street. I wouldn't want it in my neighborhood. A summertime cookout, a barbecue, upcoming Labor Day barbecue, a 4th of July barbecue, a Memorial Day barbecue, or family get together, those are acceptable. That's what brings community and people together. But an organized neighborhood subdivision community that turns into a party place, a party destination, that can easily invite in a lot of other issues and problems. We don't want that. Now, here's what I don't like being one of the community leaders. I think when you don't give the authorities an opportunity to follow the steps and go through the process and go through the proper procedures, then what happens is we begin to amplify or exploit our neighborhood and our community. It's okay to bring attention to it. We have to draw attention to it. And we have to get our community leaders' attention. We have to let them know that we are not supporting this. We're not in favor of it. And we're looking to our community leaders to get something done. Well, I'm all for that. But when you tell the world that Rockdale County is this, that, and the other, then what are you doing in your community? Because guess what? The folks who are in the party house, they appear to be well behaved. The cars are parked. They're not out in the street making a whole bunch of noise. They're not creating a lot of ruckus and drama. Are we creating more drama about it than what they're doing simply because we don't like the fact that it's there? Then there's a way we have to do things. And we can't go ranting and raving, making a bunch of noise when the folks who, what we've described as the problem, is not making any noise at all. Now, one more step.
Yeah, I'm letting you get through
One
because I
more
got a list to go counter everything you just said.
That's fine, baby. Bring it on. Here's the thing. And I'm not in defense of anybody, but I'm just saying if we're going to tackle this thing, let's tackle it right.
Right, and
you're
you're on your side.
Right.
And what I'm saying is everybody needs to understand he's looking at it from his perspective that he has to deal with it because he has to take care of it from the legal
and it has
standpoint.
to be done the right way.
Right.
Because guess what? If we get out raising hell and making a bunch of noise and doing it the wrong way, we won't resolve the problem at all. Remember,
and y'all have rules to follow.
If two people are going down somewhere and they're lost, if both of them start panicking, no one is going to figure out how to get the hell out of somewhere. Somebody's got to use logic. Somebody's got to put their head on, put their thinking cap on, and think through this thing. Making a bunch of noise and yakking it that, you become more of a problem than what you described as a problem. Going back to what I was saying. So if a homeowner or an individual decides to purchase 6 homes on the street, they can rent them out, they can sell them out, they can live in all 6 of them. They can live in one day a week if they want to, if they own the house. They are the homeowner. They can do what they want to do within legal rims on their own property. Now, I'm not sure, and this is all being looked into. By the way, I did get the email. I mean, not the email, but the video on my Facebook page. I've also contacted several weeks ago the chief of staff for Rockdale County government, which is Mr. Gerald Sanders, who is in communication with the county attorney. Okay. My suggestion on the Facebook page was that Doc and all of her followers and all of the people in that community, all of the concerned folks, and I'm concerned as well. Although I'm a member of the Board of Commissioners, I'm still a resident of Rockdale County. I'm still a citizen in this community. And I don't have the attitude of that, well, it's not on my street. No, it's on the street in my county. And I'm concerned from 2 ways, from the position of a citizen and from the position of a commissioner. So my suggestion on her Facebook page was that, listen, why don't you capture the attention of the community leaders? Come out to one of our board meetings, bring your rally of supporters, capture the attention of the community leaders, the Board of Commissioners, and say collectively, in a show of force, have a spokesperson. We are not going to stand for this. We don't want it. We're saying to our community leaders, get something done. This is a great opportunity, especially it's election time. This is a great opportunity to put some pressure on those folks who are in the power seat, those people who make the decision. And I'm not going to shift this or shun this off on anybody, but I'm going to call it like it is. The person in charge of day-to-day operations is Mr. Odin. He has a direct influence, control, and contact of the county attorney. Well, Oz, what about you? I'm glad you asked. Well, I said it's one of the 3 commissioners. Technically, I'm listed as a part-time commissioner, although I do have some influence in most areas or some areas of the county in terms of things being done. I primarily affect policy and budget. This can be a policy issue after it's been reviewed by the county attorney, and the county attorney gives us proper guidance and direction as to how to proceed to turn this into an ordinance. So there has to be an ordinance written that says that Rockdale County prohibits the operation of party houses or for a private resident or dwelling to be used in such manner. Are you following what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. If that ordinance does not exist, an organized party at multiple houses is no different than all 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of us, 6 of us having a house on the same street and having a party at the same time.
Block party or something like that.
Party or get together, cookout, barbecue, celebration.
Can we
whatever.
deal with some of these at the same time? Because
Let's
I
go,
got a
baby.
list of
Let's go.
all of what you're trying to say.
All right, let's
okay.
go.
So first, I'm going to say this. Don't none of my people interrupt. Parking. Legally in the state of Georgia, you got to be parked within 6 inches of a curb.
And parking, we've already addressed that, DJ Scott.
Hold on,
One of the
hold
things
on,
we're
hold
going to take them one by one,
Okay.
baby. And here's the parking thing, because if it becomes a parking issue, there is the strength of the sheriff's department. If it becomes a parking issue where it obstructs the free flow
I
of
got
traffic.
you. But technically, they are illegally parked because you have cars parked on the wrong side of the road, which means they traveled on the wrong side of the road to get to a parking spot. And by the state of Georgia, you got to be parked within 6 inches of the curb to legally be parked.
Right. So let's
you can't block or obstruct a driveway, which some of those are.
Let's stay right there for a moment. When you talk about being legally parked in a subdivision and having the vehicle pointed in a certain direction or on a certain side of the street, the right side, the left side, the east side, the north side, the west side, or whatever that may be, you may have a point about the word legally. But when you're talking about people having what is called a get-together or a barbecue on any street in any subdivision, no one puts their mind on what's legal and illegal. Here's the mindset. If I have all the cars parked on one particular side of the street, a specific side of the road, and the emergency vehicles can get down the other side of the road without there being a problem in terms of being obstructed, it appears to be okay. Now, the technical thing could get into what you're saying about, okay, but listen, how often do you want a police officer to be technical?
But you're also not looking at it from the other standpoint. These people are running a business. They're running the business where they're charging people to get in. They're charging people to get in. It's $40 if you don't bring your own bottle, and it's $50 if you bring your own bottle. Men are one price, women are one price. If you want the complimentary package where you pay more to get,
I can't think of nobody that's supporting that because I'm damn sure not supporting it. And here's what I'm saying about that. If you're running a business in Rockdale County, you need to have a business license. So that's part of the issue. But you got to go back to what I'm saying about the home ownership.
It's not a business.
Hold on. Here's the problem. When you have a business, they're trying to supply food. Health department needs to be involved. There needs to be permits. You shake your head no, but you're full of shit. If they are selling it, they are a business. If they're selling it,
they're not a business. It's a venue.
Did you not catch what I'm saying? They have an ad.
They are not running a business out of that location.
There is an ad that is saying this is what it costs to come in to our event.
Scotty, stay. Let me keep you straight. So stay with me now. Stay with me. Somebody's listening to this morning, and we're going to get a lot of calls. We're going to get a lot of emails. We're going to get a lot of Facebook responses to this conversation. That's fine. That's what we want. We want the engagement of the community. But I need my DJ Scotty to be in order.
I told him to just stay out of this for a minute. But listen,
you told him to stay out of it, but I'm saying to you got to be in order with what you said.
There's still things. They are running a business. The homeowner can say he doesn't know, but he continues to do this every weekend. He knows just what he's part of.
I don't think he's going to be able to get away with he doesn't know. I don't think.
That's right.
Because I think this is an intelligent person that has enough to know that if he purchased multiple homes on one street,
he knows what he's doing.
Invite people to here it is.
And there's different subdivisions.
Private is the word, Scotty. It's like joining a country club. A country club does not have to have a liquor license because they don't have to sell liquor. But if you pay a membership fee to join the Greenway Country Club, and that membership fee is XYZ per year, then you get all the liquor you want and all the food you want through your payment of that. But you're not selling it.
But that's not true. That's not true. If you sell any liquor at all, you have to have a liquor license, period.
Of course.
So there's the other problem that they've got.
So
that's true.
I want to go down this list.
If you sell alcohol,
you have to be licensed.
Or beverage.
Thank you.
You have to have a food permit, an alcohol license. You need first and foremost to have a business license.
And that's exactly my point.
I don't care if he's selling lemonade in there. He has a business license.
And the fact too that they're offering massages and other things, that gets into some other reasons of health departments that need to be involved, because you're already selling liquor. You're already selling beer. You're already selling food. You're charging a door price to get in. You are running a business.
And we all agree, and we're not in debate on that.
Right.
I'm not in debate on that with you.
I want to make sure that everybody's aware of that's what's happening. Number two.
Okay, stand by. Have you purchased a ticket?
I can show you the .com where you buy all this.
I'm doing this for a reason.
I've not purchased a ticket.
Have you been in either one of the houses?
No.
Okay, so stay with me on this now. Stay with me. The number on the wall behind you is which number?
Just for fun. What are you getting at?
No. What's the number? I want you to hit
4.
Okay, that's what I'm saying, Scotty. All of what we're saying is based upon what we're gathering.
No. There's legal proof of the ads in which they're advertising, come here, and this is what we charge you to get in.
I'm not talking about the ad. I want to make sure that, you see, when I speak, I want to have my stuff together completely. I want to be able to know exactly what I'm saying. For you as a county, you can say, I have to have this to shut it down. We don't have to play by rules.
No. We say, this is what's being videoed. We have proof. We have proof of an ad that they're showing on an entertainment site. Come to this address. It shows the address, and it shows this is what we offer, and this is what it costs to come into our party.
When the county gets ready to proceed forward, after we hear back from our county attorney and our legal representation, we'll know exactly the best posture that we need to be sitting or standing in terms of how to attack or to address this issue. We can't go on rumor or hearsay.
There's no rumor. There's an ad placed.
I'm not
it's
debating
telling that. Right. I got you. I want to make sure everybody realizes there is a site where you can go to, and it shows this is what it costs to come in these parties. So this guy that owns all these houses in this subdivision and a couple other subdivisions, he knows what he's doing.
Absolutely.
He's getting away with this.
Absolutely.
All right, now here's the other thing.
He's listening this morning too, by the way.
When you have an entertainment venue, if Mike wants to call it that, there still has to be proper amount of security. And then if I do any kind of event, I actually have to have X number of police officers per every 100 people.
Says who?
That's what y'all's laws are. Every time we try to rent something, every time we try to do something. My brother in Watkinsville's already said this. If I do an event in the city, I have to have security.
Scotty, I want to make sure you have a very powerful position with this microphone. And damn it, I want to make sure when you open your mouth and you go out there to that audience, I've told you, you've got the person that we're talking about. He's listening.
Mm-hmm.
His legal team is listening.
That's fine.
You need to be in order with what you're saying. So you can't.
My freedom of speech gives me the freedom to say anything I want as an opinion, and they can all kiss my ass.
Well, you might put,
just like we just did an event the other day with the midget wrestling, and we had to have X number of police officers there, and then even some fire department guys were there.
Where?
At Harley.
Yeah. Well, because
anytime the event goes on like that and permits involved, you have to do that.
Inside the city, there are a set of rules and requirements and regulations. Inside the county, there's a set of rules and requirements and regulations. Don't mesh them together, okay? Everything doesn't apply to every situation. If I'm having a backyard barbecue at my house, there ain't no reason I need the police at my house.
Are you charging people to come do your party?
No, if I invite all of you all to my cookout this weekend, I don't need the police to come and hang out at my cookout.
But when you start trying to charge to do these things, it changes everything. It's just like events we do. We can't sit there and say, come to this barbecue thing, and we're charging $10 a plate. Because A, we're not a business. B, we're not sitting there selling food under health department rules. Now, the legal thing is we do donations. Donations make all these things where everybody gets away with stuff. The problem is if you're selling all this as a business and you're not going by health department rules, you're not going by the Georgia state law as far as selling liquor. You know, technically by law, if you start giving liquor away, you're responsible for that person before they even get home. Because if you give them alcohol,
you just scare the hell out of me every time you say technically by law. You're not a lawyer, and I want to make sure that you know exactly what you're saying.
No, I do know this. You say that. I'm gonna go ahead and tell you this.
But also, let me tell you this. I am on the side of the citizens of Rockdale County. I don't support these party houses, not one bit. I wouldn't want it on my house, on my street, your street, or anybody's street. And I think that what needs to happen, we need to allow the law to proceed allow for our county attorney to get back with the commissioners and give them authorization and guidance as to what we can do. Number one, writing an ordinance and hold these people accountable based upon what the ordinance says. Once we write an ordinance and put it in place, hand it off to the sheriff, now the sheriff can go out and enforce the ordinance. But if there's no ordinance, every time you use the word legally and technically, that doesn't apply to nothing if there's no ordinance in place saying that we can't do it. If there's not an ordinance in place saying that you can't walk backwards down the street, you can't arrest a person for walking backwards around down the street.
Yeah, but
unless
that's
that
also
person is obstructing the
but
traffic.
that's also a little far-fetched when we're talking about alcohol sales and food sales and who knows what else is being sold.
It's not far-fetched unless you don't have a law, if you don't have an ordinance. There has to be an ordinance. And
I got you on that.
There has to be an ordinance.
But we already know this is that. We already know from the advertising end of what they're doing that they're providing all these things.
Well, we've seen this before in Rockdale County. Just a few years ago, there was a beautiful, lovely venue in our community that basically was shut down simply because it was a wedding venue. It was an exclusive upscale venue where there was no immoral activities going on, but they did not have a business license. Okay. And some of the neighbors in the area complained, and this place was more than set up to accommodate. Okay. They didn't have restroom facilities to be able to hold the number of people that they were attracting because it basically was a house. It's a beautiful, enormous house tucked away on the north side of Rockdale County that was shut down simply out of, I'm just going to say, envy and jealousy because
but if that was
they didn't have a business license, number
right,
one, so
but
they were in violation of that.
But that was shut down for something so insignificant. It didn't harm people. It didn't hurt people. It didn't cause problems. So then why does this seem to be so hard to shut down?
Well, I don't think it's so hard to shut down. I think that when you go after a thing, there has to be legal steps.
Right.
You can't it's just like the police serving a warrant. Before they can just go crash into your place, they have to go to a judge. They have to swear on an affidavit, go get a judge to sign and give them authorization to go into a place.
Right.
Okay. Even with what is called a no-knock warrant, there still has to have
probable cause.
You still have to have probable cause, but there has to be notification of the judicial system so they will be made aware of what's happening. You can't just do that.
Well, now, as far as the alcohol
you can't just
end
search
of it,
somebody's car without
I got you.
probable cause.
But as far as that alcohol end of it, I've already sat in one courtroom and listened to several judges have this conversation. I ran a service department for an electrical company. The two owners, we had a guy that left there, had been given beer from the business because everybody was sitting in the business drinking beer after work. He gets in a wreck at 285, runs a motorcycle into the bridge. The judge point blank says the business owners provided him alcohol and therefore was responsible for his actions. Then his lawyer brought up that they had the beer in a Coke machine and charged 50 cents for the beer. Then they got him for the second count for selling beer illegally in the state of Georgia. So if this happens all the time with bars, when you hear about bars doing things, if this be the case with bars, this be the case with businesses, if these people are providing illegal alcohol, not even counting if minors are involved, we already know that law's being broke. Again, y'all have to locate the proof to do this. And I understand that point of it. But we already have stuff indicating, come here. This is our price to come in. And it's a subdivision.
Right.
It's not a clubhouse.
Well, you're absolutely right. You're absolutely right about the online advertisement and marketing. There is proof that says that there's real activity that is unwelcome that's happening based upon what we're seeing on the marketing and the advertisement. Now, in order for the county to really address this, not make a mess of it, we have to approach it the proper way.
Yes, sir.
And in order to approach it the proper way, we have to have facts and evidence, but not just, and I'm not saying we don't have, we do have enough to go on. I agree.
Yes.
However, we have to establish a rule, a law, a regulation, an ordinance. I'm going to keep using that word because I want you to understand, in order for the sheriff, the county commissioners to enforce it, there has to be a rule, an ordinance in place for us to enforce. Once people are found in violation of those rules, regulation, policies, ordinances, or laws, then and only then do we have something that we can act on. Right now, we have a community that says we don't want it. I agree. I don't want it.
Everybody needs to stand up for themselves.
What will the ordinance say?
Well,
what would the parameters of the ordinance say?
Basically, it will. The basic parameters of the ordinance will sound something very similar to the fact that if you own a private dwelling, then certain activities that there'll be only certain activities that you can have on that private dwelling. It'll talk about the selling of food and alcohol. You cannot do that.
A state ordinance for that?
I don't know whether there's a state ordinance, and I'm not going to be incorrect by saying yes, it is, or no, it's not. But whether there's a state ordinance or not, it's always better to give your local people a little bit more oomph factor, a little bit more teeth or tooth by having a local ordinance. There are state and local ordinances that mirror each other back to back, but it always gives that local sheriff a lot more firepower when he or she can walk in with that ordinance or that copy of that law in their hand and say, listen, Mr. Johnson, you're in violation of Georgia Code 16-12-25, and you've got 5 minutes to shut this down, or we're going to do some different things here.
And what you're saying is that you need enough people to come to the meetings and say something to get that ball rolling.
But that also brings up the fact that your boss only allows y'all to have 9 a.m. meetings.
Wait, hold it. You way out on it now. You're going to piss me the hell off. He's not my boss.
Hey.
I don't have a boss.
Hey.
The people are my boss.
I'm just saying it. Now I'm calling it like everybody tries to say it.
No,
you're chairman.
Well, he ain't my damn boss. And you got me really cussing now. Let me just tell you that. He works for the people just like I do. In fact, you're his boss, Mr. Spence.
And that's my point. Everybody needs to go in there and complain, but 9 a.m. makes it hard. People can't leave work.
Do you have pink slips? Anyway, I just wanted to say, he's not my boss.
Lips got nothing to do with
it. Here's the thing. You don't need a packed house full of people. What you need is a collective group of concerned citizens.
Needs to be more than one.
Who will capture the attention of their community leaders, in this case, the county commissioners. That collective group says to your community leaders, we want something done.
Right.
That's basically all they're saying. We want something done, and we're going to monitor this thing from A through Z to see that you get something done. And we're asking that you get something done. You don't need people ranting and raving and making a whole bunch of noise, but you need to come together collectively as citizens. And I think that's the case on many issues like that involve the community overall. People should come together. And right now, let's see what kind of leadership will you get out of the person that works for you who sits in the position as chairperson. What kind of leadership will you get out of that person? Because it's the influence of the person who sits in that chair who communicates with the county attorney and says, listen, let's get something done. Tell me more, Mr. County Attorney, of what I can do than what I can't do. Because I've got my people, the citizens of the county, saying, we don't want it. I need to respond back to the community. So tell me, what can I do? I want to hear more of what I can do. How can I empower the sheriff? How can I equip the sheriff? Give me a tool, a resource that I can put in the sheriff's hand and say, Mr. Sheriff, now go do your job.
And see, by what's happening here today, because you used the word monitor. So do you know how many of your haters and my haters are listening right now because they want to know what we know? They want to know what we got on them. And that's where I'm going to have the argument to say, you're illegally parked. You can use the word subdivision, but you're running a business. You're not parked within 6 inches of the curb. You're parked on the wrong side of the road. So if you as a business don't like us busting on you, then take your shit somewhere else. because we, the citizens, you as the commissioner, you and the sheriff, all y'all have to play by certain rules. You have paper trails. You got to do this. We as citizens can have an uprise and see to it that this doesn't happen. We tell everybody. We make sure everybody knows this is in the subdivision.
Let me caution you and warn you about your uprise. It is not illegal for anyone to have a march or rally. All they have to do is get a permit, and the police can come out and protect that march and rally and make sure that things are done in order. If they have a permit, any group can get a permit to do a march or rally. Once they've been issued the permit, law enforcement can come out and make sure that the event is a orderly event. Anyone that comes out to the rally and disrupting the peace, although the people who are hosting the rally is not causing a problem, but someone that's coming out because they don't like the rally creates a problem, guess where their ass is going?
Well, my version
Now,
of uprise,
I want to make sure
my
you
version
understand
of
what I'm saying.
uprise is we get together and we make sure we go to the
Well,
commissioner's office. We make sure that the chairman listens.
You know, when we both know we're smart men, so we know that people are listening to this broadcast.
Oh, yeah. Every one of them that hate us are listening right now.
Not just the haters, but guess what? Those folks who are trying to find a loophole and to determine how can they move forward doing what it is they want to do based upon what they're hearing coming out of this microphone.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so here's the thing. Pull the video up.
Hold on, let me catch this real quick and see who this is. Just for Fun Radio.
Yeah, I missed the Westland show Saturday night.
Hey, let us dial you right back on that when we get on that topic.
Okay, bye.
Thanks. Okay, go ahead.
He wants to wrestle. We're wrestling. He just don't know it. Come on, Dusty Rhodes.
The thing is, I want to agitate this and make more people open their eyes to what's going on in their own community, because this is absolutely insane.
I don't think that's a good word you want to use, DJ Scotty.
Which
You
part?
being a peace ambassador, you don't want to agitate this. What you want to do is bring awareness to
awareness. Picking a scab that people keep hoping it just covers and grows over.
I'm going to send you an invoice for all this counseling I'm giving you.
Because right now, there's been too much
keep him out of
of
jail.
people. Do you know, how about this? Do you know that there was a threat made to Doc yesterday over the telephone?
Let's not get into that.
No, but
Let's
what
not get into that.
but what I'm saying is, do you not realize that these very same people are trying to use intimidation to
not gonna
scare
work.
people?
Well, I mean, listen, if they Google, Mike, why don't you Google this for me? How many on an average, how many threats does the president of the United States get on an average during the course of a 30-day period?
Oh, it's going to be huge.
So anybody that's bringing change, any kind of leadership, that's part of it. That's why JFK is not here. That's why MLK is not here. That's part of it. Anytime you bring change.
Well, you do know I carry a Glock for the simple reason that when I was taking care of the homeless,
every situation is not required for us to talk about the fact that we carry a
listen
firearm.
to me. You're sitting there saying this
because we can communicate and get things done the right way. And the things
so do you know, but you're not listening to me. Do you know that when we had the God was dead in Newton County and we were trying to get the school to take down the biblical stuff, we had death threats. People telling me, I know where your bus is. I know where you live. Then when we started feeding the homeless, do you know how many death threats we had just for feeding the homeless? So anytime that you do what we do by trying to cause change, you're gonna aggravate and agitate and mess with these people, especially this particular guy that's trying to make a profit. He's trying to make a profit and we're trying to ruin his business. So of course we're going to have people that are going to be mad. And of course there's going to be threats made. Of course phone calls are going to happen. That ain't just the president. That's typical everyday life.
Yeah, I'm not sure it's coming from the guy that owns it. I can guarantee. I can't guarantee.
You can't guarantee anything because we don't know.
Here's what I'm saying. I've got to give the person who's thought this whole thing out and they have that many pieces of property, they're that organized.
He knows what he's doing.
There's got to be a lot more intelligent to be calling Just for Fun Radio and aggravating.
No, nobody's called me.
Anybody.
But I'm saying
like
that
now,
has caused
some of the party goers.
Yes.
Some of the party goers, on the other hand,
yes,
could perhaps take it to that level.
That's right.
But the
guy in charge ain't doing it. Well, it's no different than a guy running a mafia. Do you think he's the one whacking everybody? No, he's got people under him.
Here's the thing. At the end of the day, the guy who owns the property if ultimately he's shut down according to our ordinance that will come forward, he's made his money, had his fun, and done what he intended to do. He goes on to the next project.
And he's already paid to other people to do all the hard work.
It's not that deep
So
to that
is an
person.
ordinance in effect, or what do they have to do to start the works into getting the process?
Well, here's what has to happen. The county attorney for Rockdale County and his legal review team, he and his team will research this high and low, not just in Rockdale, not just in the state of Georgia, all across the county, all across the country. And he's got to throw this up against the wall and make sure that when it comes back clean enough so that he can come to the Board of Commissioners office and say, look, now we have something to go on in terms of writing an ordinance. Otherwise, he has nothing, because if this has been tried and tested in other communities, and believe me, it has happened in other communities.
Okay.
Just earlier this year, you guys do remember what happened down in Atlanta on the same subject.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And then, like I said, I was telling him, we aired the one about the one in LA.
So
this
you got
is
a lot of
not
people on
just
your
Conyers.
team. You have a lot of people on your team. Have you given anybody the assignment or the task to go and research what was done in Atlanta?
No. All this has just happened over the last 2 days. Just go with it. Doc's been handling the stuff that she's been handling.
Okay. Mike?
Do we not?
He doesn't get involved with all that
so
stuff.
we don't
30
have hard enough
death threats a
evidence.
day, by the way. Real quick, the Secret Service, the number of threats against the president is overwhelming. President Barack Obama is the target of more than 30 potential death threats a day. So,
okay. So
he can't stop being president because of
can't stop.
They
Wheels
don't
on the
have-
bus.
They don't have hard enough evidence to.
I'm not saying I'm not in a position to say that they don't have. What I am in a position to say is that we have to allow our legal review team, because our goal is to bring this to a halt, to end this. In order to end it properly, we must do our homework and put our ducks in a row. So everybody right now just simply need to pump the brakes. Give it a moment. This doesn't happen overnight. It doesn't happen overnight. Will there be more organized parties before this thing can come to fruition and come to an end? Perhaps, yes. In the meantime, we've got to pump our brakes. We as a county has to monitor the situation and make sure nothing gets out of hand, because anything that's an emergency will automatically require the authorities to get involved, be it the sheriff, the commissioners, or anybody from an emergency standpoint. We don't have to have an ordinance to respond to an emergency. But in terms of shutting, it's just like an eviction. That's a perfect
That's
example.
the perfect example.
Perfect example.
There has to be a legal way.
Perfect
You guys
example.
have to do it.
If you move into my house, and I've allowed you to move into my house because I want to give you a place to stay, but now I want you out of my house. Don't you know, legally, I just put you out?
Exactly.
We have to go through the court system. How frustrating is that? I gave you a place to stay, but now you're going to bite the hand that feeds you.
Because happens every day.
I'm saying, Scotty,
yep.
You're not abiding by my house rules and the things that's going on in my house. You're not in enough time. I shut my house down at a certain time. I set the alarm. I need you out of here, man. And the next thing I get is service from the magistrate court saying that, no, you can't put Mr. Spence out. That's his place of dwelling. That's now his address.
So are the hundreds of people at the party living there?
No.
I'm confused.
No. Not
these people are renting a house for 24 hours, which is against whatever rules they already have.
Let's not confuse them. Let's go to the heart of what he's saying. Not those people. The person that owns this place or owns these properties, before we can just simply go there and shut him down, we have to follow the letter of the law and do it the proper way, or the county will be liable.
Or
will be held.
Or it won't stick, and everything they did just backfires.
Or we can get sued.
How about this? Is there an ordinance about renting a house for 24 hours in our county?
I don't know that answer.
Okay, that's another one. See, a lot of these questions that you think I'm just spitting out, I've had police officers bring up the parking one. A lot of these are questions that have been sent to me since we posted the videos.
Yeah. Well, here's
one of my buddies in Henry County brought up the ATF about the liquor sales.
I'm going to give you the name and the phone number to the clerk for the county commission's office.
And that's for anybody listening, y'all.
And especially for you. If you want fact, if you want to go on the air and have your stuff together, if you want to know what you know and you know what you know, I'm going to give you the person that can help you look good, baby, and shine and glaze like a Krispy Kreme donut. That way you're not doing like old Barnaby Jones, shooting off the hip. I want you to have your shit together. Are you with me?
Let's go.
All right, here it is. 770-278-7009. Now, folks who want to have their stuff together, they writing that number down. Folks who just want to rattle their mouth, they don't give a flying flip about that number. The county clerk, her name, you need to put a name with the number.
Oh, I already know her.
All right.
Me and her know each other.
Miss Rutledge.
So,
no. The clerk for the Board of Commissioners.
Oh, the commissioners, because I'm looking for the clerk of the courts.
No.
Already know her.
Why you got to listen. I'm going to teach you, baby. It's Town Topic Tuesday, by the way. Miss Jennifer Rutledge is the clerk of the Board of Commissioners office. She is the parliamentarian. She keeps the records in terms of all of the ordinance. She has a book with every ordinance from A through Z in Rockdale County. Those ordinances are rules, laws, and regulations in terms of what we can enforce. Okay? She has it. And whether it's a police officer, a deputy, a firefighter, or a school crossing guard, or somebody that's been around for a long time, if they don't have the facts, first of all, I'm your commissioner. I'm not the county attorney. I'm not going to move forward without the guidance and direction of the county attorney. That's why we pay him, to keep us out of trouble and tell us what we can and cannot do from a legal standpoint. Otherwise, we'll be like a lot of other folks, just rattling our mouths. You're too smart. You're too intelligent. We have technology at our fingertips. There's no need to sound like the other folks.
Okay, but do you not see what I set you up on so many questions and you don't see it. You just came and sat on a radio show. I asked you every single question other people have been asking to make sure these are asked.
I hope I've answered.
So a lot of this has been opinion based, but it's also been based on all the questions that have been coming in for the last 36 some odd hours since these videos were posted. Because you've got police officers that will reach out to me and go, they're illegally selling alcohol.
Well, so let me tell you what else will reach out to you.
That's the point.
Let me tell you what else reaches out to you.
Where you are giving the answers.
Let me tell you what else reaches out to you every day. There are people who are listening to your show who push you, who pump you, who prime you, who instigate stuff because they know DJ Scotty will take it to the microphone. Some folks are laughing and listening, and they will watch you drive your car down a one-way street the wrong way, and they won't do anything. Once you crash or run into somebody, they're going to laugh and call you an idiot because there's some people that say, give it to Mikey, he'll eat it. Give it to Scotty, he'll do it. Give it to Scotty, he'll say it.
Well, they know we have the power to share it.
But they don't have any fact. And they'll make you look like an idiot running with something if you don't have your facts together.
But what I'm doing is making the commissioner answer the very same questions that all these people are asking.
It's not illegal for me to go into that house and drink the alcohol.
If you're underage, it's illegal for you.
Say I was of age.
If you're of age.
Say I was of age and I have paid my ticket and I go inside and I drink alcohol. Is that not illegally selling alcohol?
All that activity is illegal. Okay. So here's the thing.
Right.
If you're 25 years old, which is of legal age to purchase alcohol, but you go into a home, you can come to my house.
Okay.
And if I sell you liquor, I'm going to jail and you're going to jail.
Right.
That's cut and dry.
Is he?
That's illegal.
Is the owner of that house not doing that?
I don't know that.
Okay. Now listen,
I don't know that.
This goes into let's look at it this way. As people, we can sit here and say, we've read this invite. We know what they're claiming to sell. Have we purchased it? No. Have we got pictures or video of purchasing it?
See,
No.
it'd be something
But as
totally
our
different
commissioner, hold on a
if you
second,
told
but
me
as
you
our
had somebody
commissioner-
that went in there,
Right.
because the police also operates a sting
The same
operation, and they'll send an undercover agent.
Right.
See, if we had somebody that was sitting in this microphone mic this morning saying,
That's done
you know
it.
what, I purchased a ticket, I went in there, I bought the liquor, da-da-da-da-da. Now we got living live proof.
That's right.
But nobody in this room, in this studio,
Has
has
physical
gone in there.
evidence. That's where I was
Now,
going.
none
Oz
of us-
has no
none of us-
physical
None of us
evidence.
like it. None
Right.
of us like it. I don't like it. But Denise, have you been in there?
No, sir.
But it's-
Scotty, have you
it's
been in
no,
there?
And that's the point.
Mike, have you?
As
Tyler.
far as the commissioner's office and as far as the police go, there is no physical proof in which you guys can take it to the next step. The biggest thing we can do now is bring awareness on our end
Well,
and bring it to y'all, because from what I understand,
no, there is something. Wait a minute now. Don't water it down. Let me just say this. There's more than, as a commissioner, I don't have to go in the house to create an ordinance about what we can and cannot have in
Right.
this county. We already know the things that we don't want in our county. And number one, we don't want a party house.
right?
Okay. So we will write ordinances that will speak against having a party house in Rockdale County. But the way we're going to write this ordinance is not to infringe on someone's constitutional rights. It has to be
Legal.
done right.
Right.
But how are you going to know the difference if they're just having a barbecue with a bunch of people over, or if they're trying to have a party?
Well, you have to have intel.
Well, here's one thing that creates the big difference with that, Denise. That's a very good question. When was the last time you had a party or barbecue at your house and you advertised it on the website, created a website?
You're doing it.
No. I'm not talking about a Facebook community gathering. I'm talking about a
This
private.
is an entertainment website that these
Absolutely.
people are using.
Absolutely. And the you're doing it is we paid to use the pavilion. We're not having any alcohol. Absolutely.
The DJ ain't getting paid. There's no business transactions happening.
Right. So back off of me.
HIPAA.
Here's what I want to make sure everybody clearly knows. Oz, from his commissioner standpoint, has to do this. I've been asking questions that have been asked of me to ask Oz.
I just don't want people using you.
Have I ruffled feathers? Of course I did.
You ain't
That's
ruffled
my
mine.
job.
That's
not
your
yours.
job.
Not yours.
I'm doing my
No,
job.
no. I've not ruffled yours. I've ruffled other people's feathers. And to say people using me, I'm asking you the questions that people have asked. So
Well, that's good.
that's
to
what
do
we're
that.
doing.
Right.
We're
Just-
bringing awareness to our neighborhoods. We're never going to take back control of our neighborhoods if we don't make
I'm
a
saying
start.
something else, and I'm mentioning a point that is also speaks to your intellectual property, sir. That you are a smart DJ, you have technology, you have talent all around you. When you get a question or call or something that comes in, an inquiry that comes in, there goes to work with your team, just like with what I'm doing. On our team at the Board of Commissioners, guess what we have? An attorney. So before I go to speaking on all the stuff that I don't know anything about, I'm handing it to the attorney and say, research that. When he comes back to me, I say, okay, now, according to our legal research and what we've discovered, here's what we can and cannot do. Before you begin to advocate on just every issue that comes up and comes through to you, you got to make sure you have your stuff together. You just can't be a set of loose lips simply because you have a microphone. Because if you do that, people say, give this to Scotty, give this to Scotty. He'll talk about it. He'll talk about it.
Got to bring
You got-
awareness.
Gotta
bring awareness.
Awareness
But the
is
problem
one thing,
is, how long has this
but
been
you
happening?
got to be in order.
How long has this been happening?
I think if it happened one day, it happened one day too long.
How long have you known about this?
Too long.
I know somebody that sent y'all letters, emails over a year ago, and nobody's done anything. And I'm not holding you responsible. I'm holding our chairman responsible,
Well-
because if this was sent in as a message and was asked upon somebody trying to do something over a year ago, why are we just now? You know what? Here's how it is.
Well, I'm not going to shun responsibility because
I'm-
I am one of the commissioners.
I
So
know,
here's what
but-
I'm going to say.
But we're having to piss
Whereas-
people off to get attention out of
Well,
this.
sometimes I said to some folks the other day, if you have to call 911 about the cat in the tree and you really want that cat out of the tree, you might have to make it sound like a real situation.
I'm just saying, apparently We're having to piss people off to make people even open their eyes to the fact that it's been happening. If letters were sent addressed to the chairman,
so you're
and
asking
it was
about
never
what happened to the follow-up and the follow-through.
Thank you. Yes,
that's what you're talking about.
That's what
I'm
happened
asking. To the follow-up and follow-through a few months ago when this was brought to the attention of the Board of Commissioners.
This was actually brought up a year ago. It's a year ago to the chairman.
Dear Mr. Chairman, this was brought to your attention a year ago. Where is the follow-up and follow-through to bring peace of mind to the citizens of Rockdale County that the Board of Commissioners are going to aggressively address the situation? What has been done? And if nothing's been done, what will be done?
All right, here's a question.
And why is it taking so long?
Here's a question from a police officer that's in another county. Ask him, so if you send someone out to enforce said ordinance, this corporation pays the fines, which has nothing to do with them, and then they get right back to it. What are they going to do? So in other words, if you fine them, they pay it, and they go right back at it. What is the next action?
Well, the next action is for them to, they'll be going to court, and the judge will determine the next action. Because here's on any situation like that, it's like a code enforcement issue. If I come out and I write you a citation, a warning citation, and I give you 2 weeks to get something brought together, and in 2 weeks I come back out and you haven't complied with the order, then now I'm going to have you summons to come to court. You're going to have to stand before a judge and tell the judge why you did not follow the ordinance or you did not do what you were told to do. The judge will make a decision from that point. I'm not a judge.
Yes, sir. So I want everybody, what will happen. I want everybody to understand, though, all this,
they can pay the fine,
has been questions from listeners, people from Facebook, and of course we're having people text in now. All this has been stuff that's been asked several times, and several different people in different businesses that involve law enforcement have asked about the parking. I've had one person already discuss a couple of DUIs that he's been involved with, and that's where the parking part come in effect. The liquor store or the selling of liquor with ATF, that's another one that was asked. Another guy that works a security place was bringing up the whole door price that you're paying to get in this, which once you start paying to get in it, makes it a business. You know, all these have been questions. Of course, we have a restaurant owner that has brought up the whole health department part. So for everybody that thinks I'm just trying to purposely ask questions, I am purposely asking questions. All this has been stuff that people have been wanting to know. Why has it not been dealt with? And again, our county has to find all this information out. They can't just go knock on the door and make assumptions. But me, I can air every bit of this. And that's why I'm doing this. I want to bring awareness to the fact that we cannot take back our neighborhoods if we don't make a stand now, if we do not go to our commissioners and do just what we're doing today. Even though people may go, man, it got heated between Scotty and Oz. Me and Oz are brothers from a different mother. We've got blood
I don't even see it that way. I don't think it got heated. I think it was a good, robust, healthy conversation. This is the way we're supposed to talk.
Right.
And enter into dialogue. I mean,
we are loudmouths. People just know that about us.
It's supposed to be. And this is what the community expect, for you to have good, robust conversation, to get into the meat of things instead of glazing over things. That's why we're sounding the way we sound, because somebody else is glazed over it. We don't want you to glaze over it no more. We want to get it done.
And to think the people that live next door to this one particular house are older people. One of them's on his last leg with cancer, and they're having to put up with noise all night long, and nothing's being done.
I think it's a disgrace. I think this is something that certainly we don't want and we do not welcome in our community, in our county at all. I think this has the potential and the possibilities to create other problems in our community we don't want. And I, for one, want to do everything in my power I can to shut this down as a leader in this community. What I've said earlier is that we need to hear from more people. And I think any particular issue like this in the community, the people should speak. You should always put your elected officials to work. That's the reason why you elected them. So when there's an issue like this or similar, you call upon them to do what needs to be done. Now, when you call upon them, you need them to be intelligent. They just can't call the sheriff and send the sheriff out to somebody's house. The sheriff can't do that. You have to make certain that you're following the letter of the law and you're doing things in order. I'm going to say this once again. Allow for the research to take place, continue to monitor, to continue to reach out to your Board of Commissioners. Write this down, because if you're going to be intelligent about something, let's do it the right way. Now, Rockdale County has a website that you can communicate to all 3 of your commissioners, myself included. You can send an email. And I always tell people, when you send an email to the Board of Commissioners, send the email to all 3. Don't just send it to one. Send it to all 3. Even if you decide to address the chairman, the chairperson, send it to all 3. The website, www.rockdalecounty.org. www.rockdalecounty.org. When you go to that site, go to Board of Commissioners. Somebody's doing it right now while I'm talking. Go to Board of Commissioners. See that link that says Board of Commissioners? Click on there. Now you'll see 3 names: Richard Oden, Oz Nesbitt, Doreen Williams. I would suggest you click each one of them. Send the email to each one of them. Copy, let the other 2 know that you sent an email to that one. Express your concern. Put it in writing. And expect a timely response and feedback. Also, on most Tuesdays, you all aware, at 10 a.m., not this morning. There will not be a meeting this morning. There will not be a meeting this morning. There will not be a meeting this morning. The meeting won't come back until the 1st of September. Check me on that, Denise. Is the 1st of Tuesday? September 1st, is that a Tuesday? So,
in other words, do something.
So you can come to the board meeting at 10 a.m. and we have a section in the meeting called public comment. Scotty, you've been a part of public comment.
I actually need to get back up there.
September 1st
is a Tuesday.
Thank you.
So that's our next one?
The next meeting is on September the 1st at 10 a.m. The next meeting is on September the 1st at 10 a.m. I always encourage people, if you're going to come out to the meeting, you're going to take part in public comment, then you want to get there around 9:45, fill out, watch this. I'm giving you the instructions right now. You're going to complete the red comment card found in the lobby. A red comment card where you'll put your name. You may put just the topic or the subject matter of what it is that you're going to talk about if you so desire. But you do need your name there, where you can turn that in to the clerk, Miss Jennifer Rutledge, the clerk of the Board of Commission. I want to make sure when I say clerk, I don't get people confused. And you hand that to her. She'll hand it to the chairman, and the chairman will call you up doing public comment for you, so that you'll have an opportunity to express what it is you want to express. But I never say stop there. Again, even if you come out for public comment, you still want to follow it up. You want to follow through in a reasonable amount of time about what it is that you're talking about. On this matter, it's got a lot of us emotionally pissed and angered. It has a lot of people concerned in our community. There's a lot of issues pertaining to these party houses that concern me as a community leader. We've got to go about doing this and addressing it the right way. That is, you got to be smart. You got to be smart. We'll give you badges. We'll give you accolades and certificates and trophies and awards for bringing awareness to it. Well, let's be able to say at the end of the day, over a period of time, Just for Fun Radio and the people of Rockdale County shut it down.
And that's all it is bring awareness.
That's what you want to be able to say that you accomplished.
And I want to make sure everybody realizes and listen clearly when I say this. I purposely set this up. Oz had no idea. I asked him the questions that were asked out of me to ask him. So this is what we are. We are turning a lot more media where we're going to start covering more things, but we have to be able to expose the things that are happening in our neighborhoods, because behind every great leader, there has to be a great community. You can't lead a bunch of dummies, but if you have a bunch of great people pulling together, we're going to make a difference. The problem is already we have way too many people sitting in the background not doing nothing and letting somebody else lead. Now, you can't let Stevie Wonder drive the bus, y'all. You just can't. You're going to keep going in circles.
Well,
put him on a NASCAR track.
Well, you can. You can let Stevie drive the bus.
But guess where you're going?
You can let him drive. I mean, in fact, there's Stevie's driving buses all over America.
Yes.
Goodbye.
So now here's a question that was asked, and I had to write it down before I got past the text. What? And this is only opinion, everybody. And Oz's opinion. What can be done to make people? Let me reword this. I get some weird phone call I keep getting from some other country. In your opinion, what can people do to come in to voice an opinion, to demand a vote? In other words, what can the people do to come in and say, listen, we don't want 10 a.m. meetings anymore because you're cheating us out of our votes? What can people do to demand that the meeting be moved? Is that a possibility?
It's more than a possibility. Let me just tell you what people should do.
And this is opinion, right? Or fact?
I don't put this in an opinion category or a fact category. I think this is just real communication. A lot of when you look at the root of most of our problems all the time is based upon communication or the lack thereof. So here's what I'm suggesting. All people need to do is send an email to the Board of Commissioners saying, listen, I work, I'm in school, at 10 a.m. is not the most reasonable time of the day or morning for me to be attending a meeting about my tax dollars. And I would like to see the Board of Commissioners host a meeting in the evenings, 6 p.m., 7 p.m., whatever time that they're suggesting that happens. If you have a collected group of people in this county who are on the same mindset of that, then it won't hurt to get a petition of people.
So a petition could do this. Possibly.
Yeah, but let me explain it, Scotty. Here's communication again. A petition usually comes when you're trying to get somebody to do something that they didn't want to do. What I'm saying by getting a list of names is to show the commissioners that there is a collective group of people who are interested in knowing about their community and their tax dollars, and they would like to see the meeting take place at a particular time that is more conducive for their schedules and their lifestyle. 10 a.m., most people are at work. Sometimes it takes just a phone call. You can call Oz Nesbitt, you can call Doreen Williams, you can call Richard Oden. Or you can send an email. Or you can come to the meeting and say, dear commissioners, I would strongly like for you all to consider hosting these meetings at a time that are more conducive for the lifestyles of the citizens who pay taxes, so that we'll be informed and educated about how our tax dollars are spent. 10 a.m. is not the time of morning that I would like to be able, or I will be able to attend a meeting. Simple communication. When you get that from a number of people about the same thing, I guarantee you on that one that
somebody would have to listen.
Get the attention of your commissioner.
Because word on the road, the word on the street is everybody says that they just find it to be a little shady that all this voting takes place when they're at work.
Well, not only let me just tell you, it just don't make sense to me.
It doesn't
make sense. You can call it shady, you can call it whatever it is, but if I really want to reach people, I'm going to find a time that I think most people are available to come to the meeting to hear about their tax dollars. Now, if you want to keep people in the blind and in the dark, then you do it at a time that you know folks can't get there. Or you do it at a time, let's use it another way. Let's talk customer service about this. If I want to serve, keep your mind right there, Mike. If I want to serve the people in the community from a customer service standpoint, 10 a.m. in the morning is not the ideal time to talk about how I'm going to spend your tax dollars. Oh, yes, it is convenient for the commissioners. It is convenient for the staff. But are we talking about the taxpayers, their money? Why don't we make it convenient for them? That means getting out of your comfort zone,
doing your job,
getting away from the norm.
Yeah.
So let me. You got me really going now.
Let
me tell you this.
My mission today was to put you on a little bit of a hot seat.
Well, you got me there, baby. Welcome to Town Topic Tuesday. This is Commissioner Oz Nesbitt. Let me just tell you, when you work for me, here's what's going to happen. My number one job is to serve the people of this county. And if you're working for Rockdale County, and if you're not interested in customer service and taking care of these citizens, you're working at the wrong place. Here's what I've always said about people. The customer is not always right. The customer is number one. There's a big difference. The customer is not always right. And often, sometimes the customer is very, very wrong. But the customer is number one. Why? The customer pays our salary. The customer keeps the lights on. Even if the customer comes in here ranting and raving about the hamburger was this and the hamburger was that, the whole reason why we're selling hamburgers, baby, and you're on that grill cooking them, because of the customer.
That's right.
So you have to make adjustments, and sometimes you have to be in a position to be able to allow certain things to happen, allow the customer to vent, to get frustrated. After all, he's the customer.
Thank you.
Customer service. The customer's not always right, but the customer is number one, because without the customer, we don't exist.
Yes, sir.
I want people to understand that. So all of you folks who are out there in the customer service business, or how about this, who are in the people business. If you're in the people business and your business depends on somebody else's dollar, guess what? You got to suck up a lot of stuff that you don't normally want to suck up. You have to tolerate some things. You have to allow that customer to complain. You have to allow the person to vent a little bit, because you're in the customer service business.
That's right. I told the lady with AT&T, if you don't like sitting behind there and listen to people deal with problems, you're in the wrong business.
You're in the wrong business.
Go sell clothes or something.
So from a county leadership standpoint, I want to make sure we do everything, watch this, within reason, to serve the citizens of the community. No. I'm not in favor of simply just having a 10 a.m. meeting. Oz, would you cut that out? I don't think I'd cut it out. But what I would do is have another meeting for those people who are at work all day. We'll duplicate that meeting in the morning. We'll have it in the evening. So those people that can that at work or school can come in and have their voices.
You have, like parliamentary procedure, you have business that needs to take place that doesn't really concern us that much. Why not do that in the morning when it's convenient for you guys, and then have a town hall type meeting structure at night?
Well, I think that's you can pull it up. You can pull that up as well, Denise or Mike. Either one of you.
Just call me Denise.
Denise or Mike. Either one of y'all sitting right there with Google in front of you. You can pull up which counties in the state of Georgia have 7 p.m. meetings.
I know it's right here. All of them.
Which cities?
I know Porterdale.
Which cities?
Listen, I already know for a fact
the city of Conyers.
That Porterdale does.
The city of Conyers don't have a 10 a.m. meeting.
Wait a minute. Are you saying that the city in our own county actually acts better than our county people?
I didn't say
Don't
that.
say that.
I said
Don't
they have
say
a different
that.
time for a meeting.
I made an assumption. I will apologize for that one. That is an assumption, right, Mike? That was an assumption.
Got to be
It
starting.
was right, but it was assumption.
It was an assumption. All right. Well, look, y'all. Let's get on to something better than this. We got the pink poodle coming up.
Oh, the pink pooch. Say pooch.
Man, you got to give me a break. I fell and hit my head a couple weeks ago, and I'm paying.
Yeah, buddy. Straight, baby. as long as I'm sitting right here. That's right. Coming up
the
on
Pink Pooch Parade.
The first Sunday in October, baby. This is our 3rd year breast cancer awareness. One of the most unique ways of doing it. We're doing it with the Pink Pooch Parade and Festival this year. That's right. It's going to take place over at the Parker Road Activity Center right there on 1400 Parker Road, Sunday, October the 4th. Sunday. You got to have on pink, baby. It's all about the pink. Pink
Mike,
Pooch
are we going to spray your hair that day?
No, I don't do pink.
All the St. Bernards will have pink.
Come on.
Why did you raise your hand?
He just said all the St. Bernards have pink. That means you need to wear pink.
Well, I was thinking about Acelia, my pit bull. I got a white pit bull. And remember, I was asking about it. So,
and what kind of dog is Bella, by the way?
Mad.
Her breed is part American Bulldog and part Mastiff.
What do you call it, though? There's a name, right?
They call them Pressas. They're a mixed breed.
Okay. Well, you're going to have her pink, her press up. Going to have her press up. She's going to be pink.
Well, I'm figuring all that out. Okay. Because it's hard for me to have my dog and work. I mean, how do I do that? We're already going to have my wife and the grandkid. So who watches the dog? So
I'll watch
leave
Crystal.
her at home.
You don't have a dog handler?
Oh, my God.
I'll watch
yeah. I watch. He's going to watch my wife.
October the 4th.
No, this weekend. Talking about this
October
weekend.
the 4th is Pink Pooch Festival.
No, he's wanting to watch my wife this weekend.
I'm staying far away from that.
Stay away
October
from that
the
one.
4th.
You're
You know
a
how
smart
it is.
man.
You know how it
Sunday-
is when you have a hot wife. Your friends want to
Yeah.
be there for
Yeah,
you.
I'm enjoying looking at Denise's nose though. But anyway,
Jesus.
October 4th.
I've been waiting the whole freaking show. For that.
October the 4th.
She's
Sunday,
turning red.
October the 4th is Pink Pooch Parade and Festival. Absolutely. Yes, indeed. I'm so glad she's here.
He wants to do a prank. I know.
Well,
We got somebody wanting us to do a birthday.
well, don't
prank.
forget about the guy who called in about the wrestling.
Oh God, yeah. Well, and we got
he's
we got somebody here now, and
he's
we
gonna
went
do it.
over a little bit on our conversations. Hey, I got one more question, and I swear I'm not going back to this house thing again after this.
Yes, you are.
This last question was, you brought up. This is what I'm reading.
Denise's nose.
You brought up that you know that they're listening. Does that mean you know the man that owns all this?
No, that doesn't mean that. That means that when you start having a conversation that begins to pick up a lot of traction in the community, it becomes a hot topic. People start to zoom in on what's going on, and before you know it, at least one or two of those party goers are listening to Just for Fun Radio, and they're watching all of this stuff on Facebook.
We
They've
aired it. You know they're listening.
and they've communicated to somebody
Right.
who's in charge of hosting all this stuff. Hey, you ought to tune in to Just for Fun Radio. They're talking about it.
Yeah, and
So-
it's going up.
Right.
Going
It's
up.
going on up.
Just
Absolutely.
know,
I
just
don't
know
who
whatever.
this person is.
Yeah, just know whatever things you think you
And
might
from
want
what
to know.
from what I do know, the person is not a Rockdale resident.
No,
They don't live in Rockdale County. So, no, I don't know that
So
person.
to clear this for the question, you do not know said individual.
I do not know
Thank
said
you.
individual.
I just want to make sure that's very clear. Very clear.
I don't know who he is, who
Okay.
she is, or who it is.
So I just want to make.
But
very
I know
clear.
that knows.
Oh, jeez.
That
the
nose
knows.
Wow.
So is that your mama's nose or your daddy's
Ooh.
nose?
My daddy.
Or the doctor.
So listen, because her name's Denise,
Mhm.
and you know, short
Denise with the nose.
for yeah, well, short for Denise is D.
Da-da.
So some people have been saying we should call her the nose because
nose.
the nose
The
always
nose
knows.
is here on Just for Fun Radio, baby. Tune in to the nose.
So should we have the nose's nosy
No.
news? Like the National Enquirer, the nose's nosy news.
Say that really quick.
The nose nosy news, the nose nosy news, the nose nosy news.
Wow.
Good.
That's pretty well.
Do you know what I mean?
Did they ever call you Niecy?
Oh yeah.
Okay,
That was my
Niecy,
nickname growing
Niecy
up.
and her nose.
'Cause
Niecy
she
the
knows
nose.
everything. Mike, you got anything?
Just customer service.
Oh, shut up, Mike.
Anyway, so
Well, and I
So
thought-
the pink.
Pink Pooch Parade and
Pooch
Festival
Parade.
coming up on Sunday, October the 4th. But before then, don't forget the midnight barbecue.
Mike
The midnight
doesn't forget
barbecue.
about food.
Which listen, man, we are
Friday, August the 28th is the midnight barbecue. What time does it start, Oz? Midnight.
Can't make it.
for us. It starts before midnight. We
Well,
actually are parking
I know
at the
you
Pink
gotta-
Pooch and
you-
putting speakers out, and yeah, it's
You-
gonna be a party.
This is not the Pink Pooch. I'm talking about the midnight barbecue.
I'm talking about the Pink Pooch, the Pampered Puppy. Let me get it out of my mind. You know how hard it is for us to go.
Get people
The
confused.
Pink Pooch Parade, sponsored by the Pampered Puppy. That was like saying "Picky people pick Peter Pan peanut butter because it's the peanut butter picky people pick."
All beef,
Too many peas.
2 patties, and some
Sesame seed bun.
sesame seed bun-age.
But yes, we will be parking. What we're going to do is we're not sure how your parking's going to be backed in, because you're probably going to have to grill outside of the pavilion because of the smoke.
There's
So-
going to be multiple grills.
So
There's
we're-
going to
we're
be grills
thinking-
everywhere. And if you want to eat, come on out
Yeah.
early. The food will be ready to serve at 12 o'clock.
So
That's right.
yes.
12 midnight. Absolutely.
So we're going to have people eating under the pavilion. The grills are going to be set up in the parking between the Pampered Puppy and the pavilion, and then we're going to have the bus in the Pampered Puppy's parking lot.
Midnight barbecue.
Dang.
Paper Puppy's parking lot.
I'm telling you, all them peas. See what
No.
happens? You put that much pea together.
Well, there won't be a puppy
gets
on the grill, that's for
drama.
sure.
That's a
You were-
Tupperware bowl full.
Today's a good day because you were talking about when you hit your head and everything. You've been doing really good today.
Yeah, man.
Well,
See, what you don't realize, Oz, is I've had so many severe concussions over my lifetime that I was told not to have anymore. And when I popped the bike the other day, 4 weeks ago, we've been noticing a little bit of slurring of my words and mispronouncing words. And
It could
So-
be the Jack Daniels.
But he's been
that he
doing good
drinks.
today.
yeah, I did good today with the pink pair. Yeah, that
yeah.
thing.
Okay, never mind.
I tried to stay on it. I was trying to read all the messages and I was writing them down and I was trying to stay on it.
on what, the bike?
No, I tried to stay
Yeah,
on it
he's trying
too.
to stay on that too.
Listen, the only thing we can figure is the dude in front of me did one of three things. He dropped his phone, he dropped his joint, or he dropped his beer.
It couldn't have been you.
No.
It could not have been
Nope.
operator error at
No,
all.
he slammed on
There's
the brakes.
no way it could have
he
been you.
slammed on the
Yeah.
brakes because he was about to rear end
Most-
somebody.
Well, and he had
most of the
somebody
time,
behind.
I had a police officer behind me that witnessed the whole thing,
In
by the way.
cases of motorcycle accidents, it's almost always the car's fault.
But this guy just slammed on he almost hit the Trailblazer in front of him. He slams on the brakes. I slam on the brakes. I'm here to tell you that two wheels do not stop as good as four.
That's exactly why it's the car's fault.
I have a question.
I have a
question. So the doctor told you not to have any more concussions.
Yes, I need to avoid all those things.
In the concussions prior to that evaluation, were you purposely having concussions?
No.
So,
But I was living dangerously.
aren't we?
So
all?
I was told to cut back on what
You
I was
still
doing.
do.
cut back on.
Yeah,
your
but trust me, what I do
That
now.
microphone is a weapon,
No,
young man.
what I do now is
That microphone is a weapon.
nothing compared to what I used to do.
So when you leave the house, do you think about protecting your head from
I,
concussions?
I think twice about some of the stuff I do because used to I did stuff and didn't care. I mean, just did not. For instance, when I was working at Planet Hollywood and the guy's like, "Hey man, you want to go out there on the front of the building and help me change out some strobe lights?" Sure, dude. And I'm rappelling, 80 feet off of Peachtree Street, running down the building, doing 360s out over the cars and,
Stuff white boys do.
jumping dirt bikes up into trees. I've done that. I've jumped my dirt bike right up into a tree before. I mean, I was always the guy that was like,
Here,
yeah,
hold my beer.
watch this.
Get this.
White
Remember Ellis
Man,
Street.
white folks.
and-
Look, you don't see
Ellis
black
Street
folks going
and-
in there chasing ghosts. They
No.
know better.
You don't see black folks. You don't see black folks constructing an electric chair either.
that is a WFO.
Black
right
folks
there.
don't swim with sharks.
WFO.
We saw that yesterday.
Black
Don't
folks
serve.
don't try to get
They
electric
don't serve.
eels.
They don't serve.
All right, so what was you saying?
I was on Ellis Street. There used to be Benihana's, remember, in Atlanta a long time.
Yes.
It's still Benihana is still on
Is it
Peachtree.
still-
It's on
Okay.
Peachtree.
And I worked off of
right?
Ellis.
Okay, so we are pressure washing Ellis. Okay, the
You
building right
pressure
there,
wash-
151 Ellis Street,
Okay.
something like that.
All right.
So I make this little swivel seat, Swiss seat kind of thing, and I rappel about halfway down this building. And I'm such an idiot. Instead of spraying the wall like I'm supposed to, I'm spraying out this way, and it's shooting me across the
And
building.
you're spinning.
And then I turn around and shoot it the
Yep.
other way. So here I am on Ellis Street doing this huge pendulum.
And you question how I get head injuries.
laughing my butt off.
Look, let me
That
tell you.
explains a lot.
I had a
Mike.
hard hat.
Watch this one.
I wasn't wearing it. I had it.
So we were working at a place off Lithonia Industrial, and we needed to change some parking lot lights.
WFO.
We didn't have a bucket truck, and my boss decided that he wasn't going to rent one. So we backed a Dodge Ram up to the loading
Oh,
dock.
Y'all
my
rigged it. Y'all
God.
rigged it up.
Just wait. Just listen to this. We backed the Dodge Ram up to the loading dock. We drove a 24-foot scissor lift into the back of the Dodge Ram.
Oh my
that's good.
God.
We then strapped the scissor lift inside the truck so it wouldn't move. We pull under the light. I'm in it. We raise it, and I'm still like 2 feet from touching. It's a 480 volt ballast, meaning it has two legs of 277 volt. Coming off one of the legs of the ballast is 580 volts of current, not counting the amperage because it steps it up on a light bulb. So let's word it this way. So I couldn't reach. So we then lower it. We take a 6-foot fiberglass ladder.
Why'd you hit me?
We bungee cord it inside the lift
Don't hit me.
because you ain't paying attention.
Of course I'm paying attention.
So now we lift the 24-foot scissor
Look at
lift
me.
that's 4 or 5 feet off the ground already because it's in the bed of a truck.
That's
Then
That's
I
bad,
do
right
this and stand up on the top of the ladder where under my
Girl
zipper
parts.
area is above the yellow part of the ladder. I'm standing on my toes and I'm reaching for this light bulb that's the size of a football.
WFO.
I go spinning it. And what a lot of people don't think about, if you look at the bottom base of a light bulb, the center pin's usually the hot, the threaded part's the neutral. Well, on a 480, they're both 277. So as I'm on my toes spinning this light bulb, my finger goes down. I get
awesome.
And the dude underneath says all he could see is the 24-foot scissor lift swinging left to right.
Oh, holy shit.
Inside the bed of the truck.
And I'm on top of a ladder
WFO.
where I'm not even inside the scissors lift anymore. He said that this went on for several seconds. He said I ended up walking down and sitting in the bottom of the scissor lift. And he says all he could do was keep screaming, Scott, 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 until he hit the emergency switch to lower it.
And
I could have fell at any moment. And I was fried in the membrane.
At your life celebration, would you like us to do a live Just for Fun broadcast?
Yes.
Right there with
Period.
You, with the casket sitting
Yep.
right there.
My
laying right
uncle
there in
wants
front
me
of
to
us.
write a book about all the things I've done and
People
lived
won't believe
through.
it.
I
Yeah,
would read it.
People have told me that too. But here's the thing. Seriously, when you talk to a publisher about it, you know what they do? They look at you and go, nobody's going to read it.
Yeah, who's going to read that?
Nobody's going to read it because they're not going to believe it. They're
It's
just
crazy.
They just won't believe the stuff I've done. Same thing with you. Nobody will buy the book. It pisses you off.
We laughed because like Father's Day, I went to go do something. And if you think about how long that stir stick is, I have a line in the top of my head that took 9 staples. And I sliced my head open with a piece of steel. And I went like this, like if you had a part in your hair, I took my hand and went, no blood. I looked at my buddy. I said, think we need to go to the hospital. And he's like, what are you talking about? I said, there ain't no blood. He says, well, what does that mean? I said, that means it's a good cut. It means in about 30 seconds. And as I'm saying it, blood starts squirting out of my head and running down my face. And I went, I told you it's time to go to the hospital. That was the first time I had staples instead of stitches. I thought it was cool. It looked like a zipper on the top of my head.
Somebody's got to bring us back. It's Town Topic Tuesday. I'm Commissioner Nesbitt. You're listening in right here. That's right. You're listening to Just for Fun Radio.
Today it would just be WTF.
Oh, God.
WTF Radio.
I want to remind you, if you've not put it on your calendar, put it on your calendar for, that's right, Friday, August the 28th. The last Friday in this month is the Midnight Barbecue. I absolutely want to make sure that you're there. And we were talking about the first Sunday in October, which is Sunday, October the 4th, the Pink Pooch Face Parade and Festival. That's right, 1400 Crocker Road. Get your pooch, bring it out. Wait a minute. First of all, get your pooch registered.
Get them spayed and neutered too.
Take them over to Pamper Puppy and get them registered to
Get them
participate.
washed.
Can they paint them?
They can paint them pink. They do that.
Okay.
And toenails.
Oh, I want
So
the
the
girl to
Pampered
paint them.
Puppy is doing that for the
Pampered
parade. If you take your dog there before the parade, she is painting them pink and doing fingernails and pink bows and all that.
Do you have to pay to have them painted?
Of
and-
course,
Yes.
they're a
Yeah,
business.
Well, I
Oh my God, Denise, customer
I thought
service.
Dano's knows
no. If you're
everything.
registering your puppy, then
Yeah, but that's for the event. That's not for the services
Okay.
rendered.
Don't we have a phone call to make?
there was somebody out there that was wondering, and I
Okay.
just asked it.
Denise, what type of pooch do you have?
I have 2. I have stop it.
We may
An
do your kids too.
That works.
Paint them pink.
I have an American Bulldog, and we have a Lab Great Dane mix.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah, now the
Are you going
mix,
to bring both of them this
It's a
year or
big
just one
dog.
of them?
the mix is
I'll have
actually
to
from a different
see,
marriage.
because the Lab Great Dane
Mm-hmm.
is like 6 months old, so she's still
Oh.
really like.
Oh, she's a puppy.
So look,
Okay. Put
we
him on a
talked
leash. Put him on a
so
leash.
over all our commercials.
Put 'em
We're
on
going
a
to take
leash.
a quick break. We're going over today. We're going to take a quick break. I'm going to let all my sponsors play. We'll be right back. All my sponsors, please
Just
don't kill
for
me
Fun
because we
Radio,
overtalked.
right
But
here,
we had a
Town
great
Topic
conversation
Tuesday.
that we could not miss. We'll be right back.
Stupid.
Okay. Get away from me. Gross. Stop it. Stop. Give it. HIPAA. Oh! Here, you use HIPAA.
Customize your safe with a
Yes,
safe.
sir, brother.
I was just
It's all good,
trying to
baby.
break the tension. You.
I just want no
Yeah.
tension because I had
It
questions.
was,
I had
yeah,
to
man.
ask.
It was,
That's why I told you just don't.
Yeah,
Don't
it was-
get in it.
it was
So,
stiff there
I
for a
mean,
little bit.
I know,
It was-
but I had stuff I needed to ask, and I just that's why
Go to the bathroom.
I
You
was
can talk while you're
politely
going to
saying
bed.
Don't get in it so that you didn't get hung in the middle.
You're just mean to me. It's okay. It's okay. Don't.
Oh my God.
I'll freaking Periscope. I'll do.
I don't think anything stopped. Anybody can go in there. They can buy online and do. And matter of fact, I love to see that.
Okay. I'm surprised Doc didn't call in. I really am.
Her and
Well,
Crystal are walking around.
Well, they're texting,
Periscoping.
A lot of that could happen.
but they're not. I think they comment for sure. Oh.
When I also had a listener ask about what have you had?
So I've got the equipment.
I bet you do.
I bet
And
you do.
I got the iron stomach.
But what if there's like, I mean, we don't know all of the people that are going. We don't. Okay.
And y'all can talk that talk when I'm gone.
Yeah. Talk to top. Beautiful baby. Beautiful picture. Whose baby? Oh my God.
What's that stain right there?
Mike, you don't have to worry about payback. I just got myself back.
Dribble.
No zipper and no underwear.
Oh no.
Christ.
Oh.
I was in a hurry. I just slapped on shorts this morning.
Huh? He what?
Jesus Christ.
Well, I mean, I know.
And it was barely, but it was enough to get my attention.
Yeah, no, that's no.
God,
God, I hate when that happens.
Jesus Christ. I mean, it's barely, but Jesus Christ, it's scary as all get out.
No, I haven't had that happen in years. I don't do that. I don't do that. Plus,
What's that stain on your left shoulder?
no. Leave me alone.
No, it was his right shoulder that I did that on. Or did you do his left?
That's his left, Scotty.
Oh, sorry. I'm looking at it from my
Observer's
left. I'm
right.
sorry.
Heath. What are you doing, man?
You've been quiet.
Waiting patiently to be invited to the table.
Well, there is
Hey,
no room. Go
Take
on.
that cover off of that board. Hold on. We got to make this fast.
Show Tyler how to do it.
You close the doorway.
Show Tyler how to do it. Oh,
I can do it if y'all would come over here and watch.
oh my God. Oh my God. Customer service is number one.
Well, just for a second.
Depends which way you look at it.
Depends on how you look at
I
it.
usually close my eyes.
I was about to say.
Mandatory firearm insurance. is
Speaking to it.
racist. What the hell?
Testing one.
Oh, there you go.
Oh God, people complain about stuff.
Whip the camera around one time so he can see it, so he can't complain that he's sitting off camera.
Oh no, we're good.
Whip it out, man.
Whip it
Or
out.
whip it around.
Whip it around.
Whatever.
Dip it, dip it, dip it,
You looking
just
for a
whip
place to plug
it.
in?
Here's one right here.
There's a board right there.
Here's one right here. That way be out of the way.
Tyler, you're green.
Hey, by about 10:30, I gotta go.
I know. We're killing it right at 10:30.
Well, I know you want to do this for Jacob, right?
Uh-oh. What did you touch? Who did what? What did you just touch?
Oh, he just plugged in that.
Unplug that for a second.
Unplug that.
You have to hold the box because the box will come out.
Yeah, an electrician lives in the house.
Well, no, nobody put in a cut-in box. You have to hold the box. But that's not it. I think it's a microphone. When you spun the chair, maybe, did it hit something? I don't know, but whatever the buzz is, plug it back in because it ain't that because we're separate circuits. That shouldn't have done it. But I just wanted to make sure. Okay.
OMG.
Now, remember that. You remember the wad of wires on that microphone down there? And I think that might have been it.
Yeah.
Could have just been anything.
And touch
It could have been the aliens.
What did you do, Mike?
And then touch nothing. I'm trying to flirt with this girl.
Hey, we should ask Oz how illegal aliens become commissioners in LA.
That's crazy, man.
Did you hear about that?
Oh yeah.
No, Oz,
Oh,
did you
Oz,
hear about
didn't
that?
No.
Some dude that's on city council put two
what
illegal
city council?
in LA,
Okay.
put two illegal aliens on county commissioners. So we have, or they have, two illegal aliens as commissioners for the Board of Commissions.
They do live there, but I mean,
What is it when they
Not
say
legally.
alderman? Where does that fit into the?
It's the same as a councilman.
Okay.
In some places they call them an alderman.
Okay.
Yeah. In some like
Alderman or Otterman?
no
alderman,
alderman.
y'all.
Alder.
You're thinking altar boys because of the whole
You're
Catholic
trying to
thing.
figure out how to drop
Different
something.
people.
No.
If you're done, I'll come over there.
Yeah, I ain't got nothing else.
All right, we're live. We're back. Okay, McLovin. Swap. It's not the first time you ever heard that.
Ha!
Sorry about the smell.
I'm gonna have to go.
Do what?
Somebody can sit here if you want.
Well,
I'm gonna
10:30 we're going to call it. I just was going to go over a little bit because I
15
know
minutes, Michael.
I know
15
our-
minutes.
our great debate went a little further. So how's everything going? Have we heard of a third yet that's going to be running? Not nothing. Not nothing yet.
Yeah, I'm playing with my gum. I got some gum in my pocket.
I've not heard of anybody else that is interested in taking the hot seat. Shall
I
I
hadn't
call
either.
it?
Man, I'll do it.
But it's not too late. I mean,
I thought wasn't it August they were supposed to announce?
I don't think there's not a
set. Okay,
there's not a set time as to when you can get out. In fact, technically, what word do you like to use? If they pay their qualifying fee by the time the qualifying is required, then their name can be on the ballot. But we're talking about serious candidates. I believe that's what you're talking about. People.
Yeah. I just didn't know. I hadn't heard. I've gossip. Everybody wants to call and go, man. I hear there's a third, but nobody's named who he is.
I think I've heard that as well. I've heard it as well.
Wow.
I mean, hey. It's an wide open race.
That's right.
Anybody that thinks they're eligible and that think they can do the job, I think they have the right.
And everybody runs to me for answers, and I'm like, look, I know a lot, but not a lot of everything. I mean, like, I can't swear that I know anything. I mean, I've had so many people come up and go, man, there's the third. And I said, well, I'd like to know who the third is because I would like to open up the invite for a debate that I'd like to put on.
Let me tell you what I think about the third, whether it's the third, the fourth, or the fifth. Here's what I really think about. I think the people of this county can sift through all the foolishness, and they're going to make a right decision in terms of what they need and what they want to see in this community going forward. People understand that it's time for real progress. It's time for results. It's time for action. Now, here's the thing. There's no magic wand or crystal ball anywhere, Denise. There's nobody that has, whether it's me or anybody, that can just take a light switch and just flip everything and the land is beautiful. This is the land of milk and honey. It's not going to be that way. But it's time to have leadership that's hands-on, that's going to be active and engaged with the people of the community, and that everyday person that can identify with what everyday people are dealing with on a day-to-day basis. Taxpayers, people who are opening up businesses, small business people, entrepreneurs, people who have kids who are going to school, people who live in communities, people who don't want party houses, or people speeding past school buses, and real life people who want to live in a safe community.
Yes.
So many people get into politics simply because they want a badge or name or title. They want to be important. They want the prestige, or they want to be somebody highfalutin. I'm not interested in any of that. I'm interested in doing what I can to make this community a better place for everybody. And that includes me and my family as well.
Right.
So it doesn't matter to me whether it's a third or fourth. That's not important. What matters to me is that the people of Rockdale make the right decision and get someone who's going to get the job done.
Right.
At the end of the day, we want to move this county forward. Right now, we're not going anywhere because somebody's asleep at the wheel, and we're sitting here and we're not making any progress.
Right. And that's one reason today, the way I wanted to do all the questions is everything that was asked upon me to ask the questions. I wanted everybody to see that no matter how we see it and no matter what lines, we don't have to answer to certain lines, but the county commissioners do. They have to go about it the legal way. And he had all the right answers because he's saying, I want to get to the bottom of this. I want to make a difference. We as a community need to stop it. So everything that I set out to do this morning pretty much happened the way it needed to.
There's a certain process to do it.
But I had to word
Absolutely,
it.
That's exactly what I was going to say.
To use the word trickery, I had to do it a certain way. That's why I kind of asked Mike and them not to get in it, because I didn't want it to look like me and my people were arguing amongst ourselves.
Yeah.
I already had it set up in my head how I needed to ask these questions. I wrote them in an order and was trying to kind of keep it in that direction.
He knew how he was going to come at Oz.
I knew how I was going to come at Oz. I was putting you on a little bit of a hot seat, but I was asking what was being asked. And the important part is you handled it, whereas other people hide from the questions. So, you know what I'm saying? It's just.
You just wanted to wear your butthole hat this morning. That's all it was.
No, but
again.
No, but for 2 or 3 days, I've had all these questions coming, and a lot of them don't read everything that's been talked about. And they're going, well, why hasn't it been stopped? Well, they don't legally have all the information to physically stop it. People are going, well, why don't you call your sheriff? That has been done. Well, why don't you call your commissioner? That has been done. Well, why? So in order to fix it, I did it live, all right here. So everything that people wanted answered was answered. And
I understand the method to the madness.
Yes,
I truly do.
I had to do it this way.
And
Look,
I understand-
Geraldo
and I
had his way
understand
of
playing
doing it.
devil's advocate when you have to.
I had
Absolutely.
to play devil's advocate
Mhm.
because I needed to
I
prove
think that's good. Too.
that he was doing his job and I was doing my job. And it was great that he's saying you need to go get your facts. But what that also means is all the people asking these questions don't see every bit of it. They only see pieces. And that's the problem is these guys in the legal part of it can't see pieces. They got to see the whole thing.
Well, I think sometimes when, oftentimes when people in the community get to ranting and raving about something or a certain thing, a particular subject, when you settle down for a second, you find out that we're ranting and raving about the same thing. We're saying the same thing. It's just a different way, a different method to the madness
Right.
and how we approach it. Just like what Denise was saying, there has to be a protocol and procedures on how we address things. After all the rah-rah is over, let's follow the rules.
Right.
So as your commissioner, you should never expect me or any of the commissioners or any of the civic leaders to come behind a microphone or a camera or any public place sounding like a bunch of rah-rah.
Right.
Now, I agree with the people. I feel the people. I don't want it here. But in terms of the way that I'm going to approach it, I can't be a part of the rah-rah crowd, not in that particular manner. I've got to go after it the way it needs to be
At
dealt
this
with.
point,
And
it's,
guess what?
let
You
me
should-
do my job.
You should expect
Yep.
me to handle business the way business should
That's
supposed
right.
to be handled.
Right. See, I had,
Otherwise, then,
I had one guy I've known for several years, runs a big body shop in Snellville. He sent me this message going, dude, why are you getting pissed about these people having a party? And I said, well, you apparently didn't read everything. And then when I sent him the pictures of the sales thing and everything, when I brought it all back up, and I said, I know you wouldn't want this in your neighborhood. And he goes, dude, I got to support what you're saying on this. He said, thanks for airing it. He says, because now it makes me wonder about something that's been happening in my neighborhood. So see, apparently it's not just Conyers, everybody. It's all over.
Yeah,
Well,
but you got to
for
take
this-
care of your
You got to take care of
Yeah.
yours while we take care of ours.
right.
For this particular problem, a neighboring county of Rockdale, DeKalb County, a couple of years ago had a big problem with the same situation, and it took a long time for the county to get it under control and get the situation taken care
Right.
of.
But it was taken
But
care of.
Eventually it
Right.
was,
Right.
but it was like, it's like Commissioner Nesbitt was just saying, you can't just go running in guns blazing
No,
when you
can't.
don't know
Well, it's like
all the facts.
like raiding a dope
And-
house. If you don't have the right information,
You
you
can't
can't
go in-
raid it.
You can't go in with a narrow-minded view.
Right. And if anything, as
looking through a-
citizens,
you know,
we can slow it down by airing it. So now when these people start to have a party, they're going, oh, crap, everybody's watching. Because that's what needs to happen. Everybody needs to be watching.
Well, and I don't think, and I'm here I am again. So I don't think they care that we're watching because I think they felt like their operation was so well organized. And honestly, on the surface, it appears that it is.
Right.
Or that it was. And so I don't care. I don't think they give a flying flip about whether we're watching or not. I think the monitoring part on our side is to make sure that our community, and while the commissioners and the county attorney and the legal team is reviewing all this, let's make sure we keep a safe community and there aren't any major incidents or accidents taking place in this place or in this area, should I say, that's going to cause a problem. Because if that does happen, then we don't have to wait on anything.
Right.
Right.
Because if it's an emergency, it's an emergency, and then comes the responding agency.
That's
Either
right.
the sheriff, the ambulance, the
Wait a
fire,
second.
or a combination of all of them.
We came in and you're serving alcohol. Yeah.
Right.
Well, we got Heath up in here. What's going on with you today, man?
oh,
What
nothing.
what happened this last weekend? We had a caller trying to ask questions.
Oh, there was a whole bunch of stuff at SFCW over the weekend. The promotion did something for the first time. It's been tried before with other promotions here and there, and it's something that seems to be picking up a little bit of steam from what I understand. But we actually had a doubleheader show on Saturday out in Monroe for SFCW. We had a afternoon matinee show that started at 1:00, headlined by with the main event of Commissioner Justin Legend taking on former Elite Revolution teammate Nigel Sherrod in a match that was well over 8 months in the making. And then that night we had our regular show, headlined with the main event of AJ Steele and Vordale Walker tag teaming with in a tag team match. No disqualification, anything goes, falls count anywhere match against the SFCW champion, Old Jagged.
Where did that happen?
And his tag team partner Shane Marks. It happened in Monroe at the Noel Rec Center.
Wow. So can Just for Fun Radio host a Tough Man contest?
Yes.
Here in Conyers?
Yes, I've been
we
wanting
host
to do that.
Can you do that? Can you host a Tough Man contest?
I'm trying to find out how we can pull it off because if somebody was to get hurt, so
and
we would have
get hurt.
And so we've got to. We've actually talked about those sort of things, but we got to figure out how we can legally do it.
Yeah, it's tough to pull off.
And on top of that, the city's not going to want to rent us the pavilion to do that.
You know what I did was I looked at LaGrange when I was living down there, and I went through it, and I actually you can get an octagon and all that other stuff, and there's plenty of referees, and there's plenty of mixed martial arts schools that will, man, they'll send you freaking a ton of fighters.
Yes.
They love that stuff. Yeah, just one problem.
Your insurance.
Yeah, man.
The insurance is the problem.
To do the like.
Well, you have two problems. You have your ring insurance you got to worry about, and then your spectator part of it. Because we've done midget wrestling, and there's nothing worse than two rednecks going, "Hey, we're gonna do us a midget toss."
I used to do security at the compound when they would do the no bars hold fights, that and at Wild Bill's. And I can tell you, we weren't concerned about the fighters. They're very well disciplined. Their coaches are there. Their families are there. You know what I was there for? I kept people away from the people from VIP seating. They would literally just reach over the ropes and grab their sandwich and stuff like that. And, because they'd have the deli sandwiches out and all. They would reach over and grab
sandwiches.
They would grab their beverages and stuff like that. I mean, that
they
and
wanted a sandwich. So,
buy a sandwich before you get there.
They were hungry.
And here's the other thing too is
they want to reach for a sandwich too.
Egg salad never looked so good.
I was always the liaison with law enforcement because you got to have arresting authority.
You got to have somebody in connection.
And then you know who used to just kill me every fight? You know who came in and just busted my chops? Fire marshal.
Oh God, yeah.
Busted my chops every single time I worked there.
So they had this one down in Monroe.
The wrestling was in Monroe.
Every month we have a show in Monroe. It's usually I think it's the third Saturday.
Where do they have it?
It's 201 West Spring Street.
Is it a public gym or
it's the Noel Rec Center?
And this is some of the questions that lead up to why I've asked a few times of what's going on at Parker Road, man. Because if that's county property, is that something we could rent and to do these kind of events? I don't know what size building it is. I don't know what we're renting for. The pavilion and those sort of things. That's the sort of stuff I wanted to get involved with when I started getting involved with you to begin with. To start doing a little more things that can get more people from our area together to have entertainment.
And I can speak on this part. I'm fully aware of at least two promoters for two separate wrestling organizations
that will be here
that are more than interested in promoting a show in Rockdale.
And remember the Boots to Bully that we were going to do. These are the very same guys.
So Scotty, have you made a list of those things that you want to do, and have you gone to the proper people and places to
I don't
talk
have
about
time
setting them
here lately?
Well, I have to slap you every time you say that
you bring
want
up that Just
do
for
all
Fun
this
festival.
stuff.
I'm just now
There's
getting people
narrow
that
view again.
I just got these people. No, y'all keep saying narrow view.
He don't like when you say it, but I'm gonna just say it.
Why don't you do this for me, Oz? Who do you see that's gonna help me do all this? Because I just now got people where they're starting to do stuff.
Get you some interns.
They never show up.
Doing
a lot of this stuff,
he's over there taking a nap.
He's taking a nap.
A lot of it can be done while you're sitting here. You got Denise with her good-looking, cute nose self sitting in front of that computer, and you got Slim Trim Goodbody over there.
Him trying. Well, the problem here's the only problem. The only problem with Mike living in Loganville, it makes it complicated for him to do certain things when he's already in other places. Denise
what
is
you said about people from Loganville?
She's kind of learning.
Where's Loganville?
Because he's not necessarily local. Where Denise is, so Denise is learning how to do a lot of things around here, and Doc is as well.
Excuses. You just gave them
women
away.
are awesome.
You get.
Oh, I have to.
I can't find time.
I will not argue any part of that statement. Women are definitely awesome.
Yes,
and I'm
they
sitting
are.
here flirting
Yes,
with a
they are.
girl on Facebook, so
Yes,
I
they
agree 100%.
I already am so stretched
third time
thin
you
that,
talked.
that I can't return phone calls half the time. I'm truthfully, this year we have grown so much this year, and our times are getting stretched thinner and thinner, and that's why Doc's starting to do things. Doc's out right now talking to potential sponsors and stuff with my wife. Not counting that we now have 3 night shows, and I can't even basically leave here hardly because I'm working from
You're blowing up.
6 o'clock in the morning till 10 o'clock at night. So it's 3 days a week.
Scotty's turned into a working man again.
Just for
Because he's
fun,
a
baby.
working man.
It's growing. It's growing. And then now that we're trying to get more into some of the media type stuff and in some of the investigation type stuff.
You need a sales and event staff.
Yeah, we're
You need a sales and event.
this
team.
year is all about grow and change and making determinations on things. Me and Mike are behind the scenes talking business.
I'm gonna ask the question about the
Sorry.
big pink elephant in the room. Is it still
Mike
is-
is not pink.
He is too.
And Oz,
We
are
need
you
to-
wearing pink?
we need to-
Maybe he's
we-
pointing at
I'm
you.
wearing pink, but he's not talking about me.
We just need to change.
What
trade
is
glasses.
it that you're asking me?
Is it still just for fun?
It's still just for fun, dude.
Okay.
I eat, drink, sleep this. I
Okay.
will never stop. Yesterday, if anybody saw the videos of me and my wife, I love doing what I do. It
What?
gets complicated though. It gets very complicated because
Mike, don't do
Mike,
that.
shut up.
Don't go there.
Mike, don't even go there. Mike,
Yesterday-
Mike's fixing to ask.
Before his-
You got videos?
Don't tell us what he's gonna ask.
Separated.
Oh,
Shut up, Mike.
My problem is I want to be the funny guy. I don't want to always have to do business. And the problem is there's now so much stuff going on that I can't be funny half the time because I'm having people like
You have-
Mike
you
trying to
have to
suck
do
me into
business
being
to be
serious.
funny.
Well, it's 10:31, and I'm getting ready
Yeah,
to
we
leave
got
the
to
show
go.
this morning.
Yeah.
But I got to ask this question before I go: is it true?
Nope.
Is
Yes.
it true,
Yes.
Not at all.
Scotty, that you are going to be the next Republican candidate for president?
I hope so.
Wait a minute. President for the
United States.
the lakefront property, or
Do I have to choose Democrat and Republican? Why can't I just be people? What's in between?
bring back the
Tea
Whig
Party or independent?
Bring back the Whig Party. You can be.
I
you
just
can
have to
the
be.
Whig candidate.
I would have to be independent because I can't blame things on Democrat and I can't blame things on the Republicans because we as the people we make choices every day.
So
There's
will you
no-
host
there's no
Mr.
Democrat,
Trump
there's
on Just
no
for Fun Radio?
Republican.
Oh hell yeah!
Would you host Mr. Trump on Just
If
for
he would
Fun
knock
Radio?
on the door right now, I'd bring him in and give him some Aquanet. I don't want the man's hair to blow away because he comes up in here. We start asking questions. He's gonna get blown away. He's gonna look like he's in that old Maxell commercial.
He might fire you.
He would fire me.
Yes.
I thought Mike was gonna try it today.
I think you should send him an invitation.
I open
I
an
can try.
invitation to anybody,
I can try.
and I really do want to host
Mike
a
knows
debate.
how to get through to people like that.
Well, I talked to Mike Tyson because Scotty, one day Scotty said he would let Mike Tyson hit him for what was it, $10,000.
$10,000.
So I actually,
And
I'm
there goes another concussion.
yeah. So I started.
There's
talking-
another concussion.
Yeah.
No, that won't be
You
a
might not come
concussion.
back from that one.
That won't be a concussion.
And
Lights out.
yeah.
Wait a minute. After this motorcycle wreck, I'm rethinking the concussions because that's one reason I'm thinking about not doing a whole lot of riding on the bike no more. Because my depth perception is not doing too good right now.
Well, I guarantee you, he'll give you some depth perception.
I'm sure.
I can remember when Tyson was in his prime, and the conversation
Iron
was,
Mike.
Would you fight Mike? Would you fight Mike? Would you fight Mike? And,
No.
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 I raised my in a heartbeat. I would get in the ring. He would throw one jab,
For a
Great.
million, maybe.
graze my chin, and I would hit the canvas.
I would curl up in the fetal position.
I'd let him nibble on my ear
And
for
the
a
purses
and
on those
get-
fights, the losers were getting
They
$35
would
million.
get, they would get
Right.
big money to get knocked
I'll-
out.
Yeah.
He
Yeah.
can nibble on my
Understand,
ear
man.
for $1 million.
Oh God, you like that?
He can nibble on my
Oh,
ear
that
for
was
$1 million.
Mike. Sorry.
Times have changed with Mr. Tyson, and quite frankly, if you did fight against him and lose, it's like the payoff is like $1.38. So
Yeah.
That you
so-
would owe money.
Now, I
Here's
wouldn't
$1.298.
fight- I wouldn't fight him now just because I think he's just finally gone.
well, no, he
plumb
does
nuts.
comedy now.
So-
He's-
All right, let's get out of here, y'all. It's 10:34. We're turning video live.
Bye.
Goodbye,
Thanks for
everybody.
tuning in.